I'm plugged in and I'm muted. Let's see, that camera's good. The other ones I don't think... Well, the arm I never have troubles with. Let's take a look. See, the arm seems okay. I'll prime it anyway. Hold on, let's go to setup. Let's toggle the lights on. Wait, let me go back to the face cam. It's more fun if you can see all the lights coming on in sequence. The GVM lights take a second to fire up, which is something that I've been meaning to hack for a long time. Like a long time. I've got all the data, it's in a notebook. I just need to be able to hack a Tasmota device to do TX and RX work. And then we know exactly what packet to send to control that light. So that light I could leave on and it would go onto the IP address. It would be, you know, like I could get rid of the Tasmota device that's on the plug and relegate that to other tasks in the shop. I would like to do that. But again, it's like, when do we work on this stuff? Well, whenever I work on stuff, I get, oh bro, where's burn the subs? It's like, I have a lot of stuff that I need to get done. We need to get Node-RED working too. Today's going to be a short stream because I can't take it. I gotta take a break once in a while. Burning out. And also, there's not a lot of people on Twitch lately, it seems. I mean, I guess there probably are. Other streams are like doing giveaways and stuff. So, like, I don't have the mechanisms to kind of push to get more users. The only thing I got is this, and we're working on it. Maximum pace. I haven't gotten the new radiator in the mail yet. We're just gonna put this one in for now, because we got to take down the pipes if I'm going to attach this stuff, and I've been a little lazy about doing this. This is a 2011 album from Younger Brother. It's called Vaccine. I remember listening to this back in the day. Well, back in 2011. Is that back in the day now? Oh no. Here, I gotta open up the YouTube. That's one of my pushes to get more viewers, is to simulcast also to YouTube. That comes with a penalty of complication that I have to undergo to get all y'all in the same place so that I can observe you and make sure you're not posting horrible links in my chat. Let's get the audio tabs in place here. And then I also need to concentrate on making interesting content again. Why is this on drums? It's weird. Well, it's all configured correctly. All right, and then YouTube chat is somewhere around here. Where did that go? That's my moderation view for YouTube. This is my Twitch moderation view. That's the blade that'll take it to social stream. For all of my viewer, I have both of my viewers are actually here right now. Look at that. Good to see you both. Channel content where everything is copyrighted. Copyright, 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 all the way down the list. There's like 1 or 2 videos here that aren't copyright, but I'm not monetizing the channel yet. I don't even know if I can. What's my email say over here? Yeah, I've got nothing. Video is blocked in some territories because I used like a, I don't know, Russian orchestra stuff. I don't fucking know. It's all so complicated. I don't need that video to play. I don't need to see my own face. I'm attached to it. Do a test real quick. Test. Okay, cool. Everything's connected properly. We're gonna have to do software too with Burn the Subs. That's gonna be a complicated affair. I guess I need to go get water. I need to go get water to run through the system. So we're just using tap water, but I'm gonna do that right now. Put this up. Might as well turn it on while we're pre-streaming here. Come on. This is the one disadvantage of this high current power supply, is it takes forever to turn on. There we go. It's not much of a water feature. What up, Cosine? I'm gonna go get a pitcher full of water. I need to do that real quick. I forgot to do it. I'll be back in just a sec. All right, now I got 2 big pitchers of water. So we can flush this, and then I'll be able to take the tubes off without getting blasted by chemicals. Did that just autofocus? You're not autofocusing, are you? No, it's not, okay. Flushing the keyboard, yeah, my water-cooled keyboard. Is this really younger brother? Huh. My younger brother was more sci-y, but I guess I'm going a little lyrical with this one. Yeah, my stomach is playing havoc on me right now. It's really kind of being an asshole. So I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming today. So all we're going to do today is pretty much just test out these parts. I don't know. The morning coffee decided that I was a superhighway instead of a meandering road. My backup keyboard, the expensive one, the backup one doesn't work, and it was the one that I was using on the stream PC for a while. I got used to it. It's a 144 key, 10 keyless keyboard, and the one that I use down here is one of those really, really tiny ones, and it's a little bit cramped. So my fingers aren't finding, especially after my middle finger got bent. I've been missing keys on it when I'm typing, and it's annoying. I gotta get that other keyboard up and running. Everything I look at in the shop is another project, though. I'm starting to get a little mad. I'm starting to get kind of mad at the fact that everywhere I fucking look, there's another thing that I have neglected. We gotta do a project completion binge. I gotta get stuff done around here, and I got people breathing down my neck wanting to come in here and play with synthesizers that I don't have working. Look at this thing. It's just sitting there, judging me. I don't know how to use it. Every time I try to do something on it, I make like marching drums. Bump, bump, ba-da-dum, bump, 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 ba-da-da-da-da-da-dum, bump, ba-da-da, bump. It sucks. I gotta learn how to use this fucking thing. I have an ear for music. I used to sing. I'm not unpopular. I can do stuff. I have viewer 1. I'm not very hyped up. I'm not very hyped up. I'm feeling unhype. That's right. We'll get into it today. We'll build some stuff. It'll be fun. Spill stuff all over the desk and get some bolts in and do all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm just getting annoyed at all the little things that are like crashing down because I haven't gotten my grubby fingers. There isn't a thing in here that I haven't gotten my grubby fingers into. Like right here, there's a hard drive just sitting on this table. Why is there a hard drive here? Because 4 years ago, I thought it would be funny if one of the sound effects on my mixer console was a broken hard drive spooling. This thing still works. It's very small, and it's a platter drive, but I was going to try to fire it up and get it to start making errors and make the little bloopy noises that hard drives make when they die, and I would get that sound effect, and it would be my sound effect instead of from a sound effect like YouTube channel or anything like that. So it wouldn't be pinnable on me for copyright. But no, here we are. I haven't done that, and that hard drive has been on my desk for years. That is what ADHD actually looks like. Instead of all these like, ooh, I can't concentrate on something I don't want to do. No. I need a less sing-songy. It needs to be in the background. Where's my keyboard doesn't work. Jeez. We'll go to the usual, I guess. Last Days of Gravity. That's always a fun one. That's kind of quiet, this mix. Oh, no, it's not. Yeah, so yesterday I figured out that print, and then I had professional apathy, and I could not even upload a single video. I don't know what got into me. Did errands, took the dog for a walk, all the usual, but it's just I couldn't face YouTube. I'm scheduled. How far in the future are we scheduled with this stuff? I'm scheduled until, where's that window? Oh, that's the car. Let's see, where are we scheduled up until? Oh, I have the volume up a little bit on this. Hopefully it's not feeding back through the mic. I can actually see it feeding back through the mic. Hold up, let me, scheduled until the 1st of March, and it is the 22nd of February. I'm not very far ahead. Turn my monitor feedback down. Yeah, so I'm scheduled until the 1st of March, and every single video that I upload gets me a little bit further in the future and allows me to relax a little bit. But I've been taking that opportunity to relax, and I'm at the end of my lead. I need to re-establish a good lead on the publishing dates to maintain daily uploads. How many videos is it? Wait a minute. That I just saw you autofocus here. Every now and then you see that little autofocus blurb. Should no longer be autofocusing. I gotta check on the settings over here. I also need to get one of those plugins that puts all the windows where they're supposed to go when everything starts up. That would be very useful because I find myself doing a lot of window shuffling and I like it to be in a particular position. Wow, 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 wow. Configure video, and then we're looking at white balance is auto, but focus should not be. Exposure and white balance should not be on auto. It should be around 4300 for nice warm-ish lighting. And then I have it doing exposure on its own. No low light compensation. Okay, there we go. Little features in these webcams, and everybody just kind of plugs them in and rips from there. But there's a lot of configurability in the webcam itself in order to get some really nice, rich video out of just a simple $60 webcam. By all means, you know, I'm camera dependent here, IRL and camera dependent here, so I probably should look into spending some money on cameras. But as long as these Logitechs are functioning, I have no need. I just have that little bit of added bother in going through them and making sure that everybody is videoing properly. Wow, 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 wow. Gonna be a lot of looking for fasteners today, isn't there? I'm gonna need longer leads on this because this is gonna have to go into the control box. Are these the stock length? Wait a minute. That's a little short. Did I alter that in any way? I might have a 60mm fan that's got a longer lead. Push comes to shove, I guess I put an extension on it in order to get into the control panel. And that'll provide a buttload of cooling to the system. That'll be a lot of cooling. Quite a lot. How's everybody doing today? I don't know what I am today. I guess Of course I'm in a good mood for streaming. You have to be. Because I tuned in on a stream last night where the streamer was not happy and they were tired. They were overly tired. They were being a little too harsh with the audience that had rated in, and it was cringy. I didn't like it. And I kind of thought to myself, like, I should not be mad at my audience. They will get under my skin inevitably. That will happen. But it's not fun to watch. I'm not funny when I'm mad. It's important. You got to know when you're funniest, so you don't put the wrong foot forward when streaming. And I should never be mad at my audience. Emphatic, 100% emphatic. That's fine. Passionate, of course. If I'm passionate about something, I want to say a lot of words. If I am authoritative about something, there will always be somebody trying to give a counterexample. So it's important to kind of pick your battles on that front. Like if I do actually know what I'm talking about or not. Because I'm listening to my own streams right now when I upload them, and I'm like, what am I talking about? What am I saying right here? Am I right about that? I don't know. That's debatable. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from the people watching my streams and from just streaming about, you know, how stuff is and any blind misconceptions that I may have about things. Basically, I'm an expert in nothing except for putting bolts into things. Always nice to pull one over on chat, but they have the power of Google at their very fingertips. Even this moment. Even this very moment, they could be Googling anything. Although Google's getting a lot worse, isn't it? Something's happening out there. I don't like. Google's getting worse. I used to be paid professionally to Google stuff. What is this? It's a phone? And then I'd have to go look at like Alibaba and find, oh, it's phone in shape of Happy Bear. A lot of weird stuff out there, but I'd be able to find it if I just hunkered down and narrowed the search terms properly. I was able to find truly some unfindable things, but I don't know how I do these days, because like the first couple pages of Google results are like not useful. But by the time you get deep into Google, it's so far out there that you're not getting reasonable things. I don't know. The image search certainly has helped for a lot of different purposes. I remember the first mention of Google as a website to me was in high school computer lab. Middle school? No, it was high school. High school computer lab. Middle school computer lab, the internet was barely a thing, but I watched Nine Inch Nails' Perfect Drug video via .mov file that took a considerably large amount of time to download. Truly the most pixels in that video. It was like 5 by 5 pixels. And we were talking on the Discord the other day about how all the Flash, that whole era of Flash animation is just gone. Like, there are projects to bring it back in some way. Like, I think Newgrounds they're working on something. But like that whole era of Flash animation, Adobe just decided would be gone. It's kind of incredible because in college, those were like our jokes. We were looking at these funny Flash anime, watching, you know, Homestar Runner and stuff like that. But it's weird because I found a the what? Card Suit? Was that like a Flash animation thing? Because yeah, there's that whole like category of games where the developers, like, the games are bad, right? They're bad. They're not good games, but they're funny and they're fun. And so there's this whole like category of game where the developers are not going to come back and do all the work to put it out into like consumable formats now. It all exists in Flash. Elf bowling. But so stuff like that's popular, right? That got views. That is going to, has a chance of having somebody come back and go, hey, I like this. I'm going to put this in a format where it won't die, right? And they're doing that. It's just until something comes along that will be able to run those old Flash files, the developers, they're dead, or they've just moved on with their lives and they're just not going to commit time to these old projects that didn't go anywhere, right? But that's where all the funny stuff is. That's where all the fun, funny stuff is. A lot of it ended up on itch.io, though. A lot of that stuff ended up there. There's a whole generation of animators that are now making it out into the mainstream that cut their teeth doing Flash animation. I think that's awesome. I think that's really cool. Makes me want to have gone into animation, even though it is a grueling profession. I was always a big fan of animation. I had a big book about all of the principles. I don't think it was the Animation Bible. There's a different book that's like the Animation Bible. It goes through all the stuff, but I had something similar. I should have committed more time to it. I didn't know it would be. It seemed like animation was kind of like dying for a while, but it's alive and well. It's vibrant, and I love it. I'm there for it. A lot of these weird custom projects that people are getting popular via YouTube. Although YouTube, a little while back, did some stuff to make their algorithm less friendly to animation, which is unfortunate. Let's just do a single wrap on this. Yeah, not everything was Castle Crashers, you know. That song's kind of cool. I wonder. Oh wait, no. Yeah, never mind. YouTube doesn't hear any of this. Twitch is the only one to hear it, and Twitch isn't even publishing it. So yeah, that's right. We're totally cool on copyrights. I've had everything is copyright struck. Everything that I'm publishing from 2022, and I'm only on the 4th month of 2022. Never saw what? Cool intro, huh? Oh, this doesn't even fit the whole thing. What, the streaming computer over there? I don't know, does Twisted Music do copyright strike? Probably. But we're not broadcasting it to YouTube, so it's fine. I kind of want to redo the cover of Burn the Subs. Thought what was a canned intro? What are you talking about? What, me talking just now? No, I'm just talking about random stuff. That's what intro is all about. You gotta have an ability to just talk about like nothing. Nothing. Oh, aye, you gotta talk about nothing. Nothing. I'm not a very good Welsh accent. No, I can't do it. I can't do accents very well. Yeah, this is when I shuffle about my little playpen here and get in the mood to interact with you guys. And vowed to try not to get angry in the future, which will be a thing that will not happen. I will get mad. Somebody's going to say something and they're going to mean something else, and I'm going to interpret it wrong, even though they probably didn't, and they're probably just kind of weaseling their way out of a shitty comment, and that'll be that. Then all my vows will have been broken, and yeah, a portal will open up and I'll fall down into hell. This is the only Star Trek. I was about to say remote. No, ornament. This is the only Star Trek ornament that actually survived the power surge, because this one is just battery powered. Although it's weird, the outside of the nacelles do not have clear plastic, only the inside. So only the inside glows blue when I hit the button. A little odd. It's a little odd. I don't know if maybe they cast it wrong or something, but like, you know, that's like a prominent nacelle location. The 1701A movie version. Arguably one of the best looking starships. Put that back right there. I also have the Enterprise D and a bunch of the other ones that we should look into fixing. There was some kind of a power surge one holiday or another. Maybe not this one. Maybe they were just plugged into the tree for too long. But some of them have scorch marks, and these are old ornaments from like the 90s and before that are the hallmark Star Trek ornaments. They're not worth a ton, but they are, you know, I don't know, they're collectible. I kind of want to keep them in good shape, even though they're not. what was good? Yeah, I want to keep them in good shape, and the power surge like scorched some of them. I don't know. So I don't know if we'll be able to pull them apart. Some of them just have lamps in them that are like hot. So yeah, crazy stuff. For some reason, everything that I'm seeing in my chat makes me feel like I'm having a stroke. I'm not sure. I can't understand these little partial things that you guys are saying. The Elf Bowling 2 keyed me into the fact that you were talking about Flash games, but if I didn't make that connection, every single comment would make me feel like I am losing my mind. What do you mean stream starts soon bug? I've got all my titles set up properly. Oh, Blockchain subbed. Hey! 11 months. Thank you, Blockchain. Was what clickbait? I don't understand. What about... I have stream starts soon, and that's my time to sit here and talk to you guys and just hang out for a little bit. I do this every stream. I've done this every stream for over 400 streams. I'm pretty sure I've got everything set up properly. Otherwise, Gonad would have complained when he said hi. Well, thank you for the 11 months. I do really appreciate that. Oh, and Gonad gave me a shout out. "400 streams, and I've done this every stream. And you've been here for 11 months. There's always one. There's always one person that has to comment on the start soon. Start soon just means I'm not working on the project that's in the title yet. I do it every single stream, every single one, without fail. Why is this warm? Wait a minute. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Why is that warm? Is the pump heating up the water? I guess that's gotta be what it is. Why is that warm? Why is there heat in the water? Yeah, oh, it's the pump. So the pump is actually putting a little bit of heat into the system. Is it that it's struggling with the size of the tube? That's probably the case. It's not going to get larger tube, but I guess if I run it for extended amounts of time, it will warm the system. Then again, that power supply is probably going to warm the system too. I'm a little concerned with this power supply. I don't know how much heat the Vicor blocks are going to be kicking out, and so I should probably get that connected for a test. The pump runs off of 12 volts, and that's going to be off the 12-volt regulator. It's a 24-volt power supply. It seemed like too much good intro for a stream. Thought it was a teaser. No, well, thank you. I appreciate that, because I've seen some introing where, you know, this was last night, where the streamer was not in a good mood, and it wasn't watchable. There were thousands of people there. Thousands of people rated in, and thousands of people were there. And this dude's like mean. He's like being mean to people. And he's like, "Oh, I'm tired." It's like, well, then don't stream. You got to take care of yourself a little bit. Also, it's just me and the dog in the house right now, so I'm able to actually like pontificate, and I actually got, you know, good sleep. I'm gonna work on me a little bit. Basically, all the stuff that I'm saying right now is just me talking to myself. I need to not be tired when streaming. I need to come into work happy and willing to be funny and fun, because it affects everything. It affects everything. It makes everything awkward. So yeah, I appreciate the kind words, and you know, I think it starts with a haircut. the broad transformative retooling of my image of myself begins with my hair. I've let it go. I am full Sam Squatch. I am willing to operate under a park bench and blend in with the surrounding nature, because I am just returned to hippie right now. So I'm gonna get a haircut, and then I'm gonna trim up the beard, and it'll be a new me. I just don't know when I'm gonna schedule it, because I'm always streaming. Maybe I can try to jump over. I'm going to go to a salon. It's important to do that every now and then. Haircuts are haircuts, right? They go off of where your hair was cut before. But going to a salon means that they will actually style your hair. And so I'm hoping that I can go to a place nearby. It's my haircut place like was killed by the pandemic, and then the other one moved, and they hate it when I have long hair. They go, your hair's way too long, we're charging you more. And I'm like, I lurk because you offer so much info in an enjoyable format. Hey, I appreciate you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Because now is the season when views are down. And so you see a lot of these streamers doing like contests and stuff like that. And I don't really have the mechanisms to do that kind of stuff. That's a new name, Lester Cab. Hair is vibing with your studio. I'm looking as brown as the rest of the studio. My barber stopped cutting hair because he makes more on YouTube? Porque. Oh, I had the mail lady, the not like lady boy, the mail carrier. There we go. The female mail carrier. Actually, I don't know what her preferences are in being gender, but we were talking, and I'm like, yeah, I got like 250 videos that I'm uploading, and she's like, oh, do you have like a website or something? Where's that going? And I'm like, and I was like, I'm actually not, I don't want people who know me actually to stumble on my channel. I do have a population of people that I know, but they know that I do weird stuff like this. But like, I'm not comfortable with the mail lady, who's awesome. She's like, she's a friend, right? I see her almost daily, and she always has a milk bone for Willow. She always has a milk bone for my corgi. So I appreciate her 100,000 million %. I love her to death, but I really don't want, you know, like family member. We had a neighbor come in because his dog like ran up to our door, and he happens to be like an engineer that's in law. And I was like, yeah, this is my setup where I do a whole bunch of what is it called? Plagiarism. Yeah, just plagiarism of projects. But yeah, as a swim team or basketball. No. But yeah, I'm not comfortable with like for instance, you know, barbershop. What do you do for a living? I'm like, engineering. And they're like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, it's spreadsheets and stuff. It's just spreadsheets. And they're like, oh, okay. Dodged a bullet. Like, I don't want them to know. Like, I can't imagine like a barbershop. I mean, I guess a barbershop opening a YouTube channel is pretty cool. That sounds totally cool. Like, if it's a barber video, like if it's barbershop-y stuff, but I'm guessing by the fact that they don't cut hair that they're probably doing something else. That's pretty funny though. Pretty awesome, actually. Technically now they're an employee of what, Amazon? No, wait, Google, YouTube. So they're a Google employee. Google contractor. There we go. We're just gonna bolt up our prints today. The new radiator hasn't gotten here yet, and I want to just keep going forward on the project. So we're gonna be doing a lot of flushing and stuff. Teaches how to cut hair on YouTube and reviews items, and he was able to quit his job because of that's fucking that's so cool. That is amazing. That is so cool. So he still gets to be connected to what he likes to do. I assume he likes what he's doing, and do like alternate stuff and possibly make a lot more money. Good stuff. Living the dream. How am I going to fill this? Good question. I don't exactly have a funnel. There's going to be some pucker up moments. Flush time? What do you... My title does not... My title updated, right? Well, I just updated if it was still pooping. I don't know. Was the poop title in there before, or are you just... What brand of oscilloscope? So I got a slightly nicer oscilloscope because I use it a lot. I typically use a Rigol 4-channel, but I decided instead of getting the lowest version, which is still an incredibly capable oscilloscope, I decided that I wanted to actually also be able to do a little logic analysis. Because once every couple of years, something comes along that I need to look at a digital signal with. But I went with the DHO 914. Now, all of these new Rigol oscilloscopes, they have this awesome feature where you can go to an intranet website. As long as you've got the thing plugged into Ethernet, it probably is Wi-Fi. You plug it into the Ethernet and you can go to an intranet site, and there is a 60 frames per second render of everything on the screen, which is super good for me because we struggled with the previous generation of Rigol scopes to get it onto an alternative screen. When streaming now, can have a fully detailed oscilloscope, and since this thing is touchscreen, that web page render, the intranet render of the oscilloscope, is also interactive, which would really have been useful when I was doing the IED job, because I could then remotely detonate. No, I mean, when I was doing the IED job, because then somebody can walk up behind you. Like, we had desks that were somewhat configured like I have here with the big shelf up top and then monitors up on the shelf. And so what you can do is when your boss comes over, or your colleagues, hey, what up, Nicandria? How you doing? Everybody check out Nicandria. She does streaming every now and then. From Newfoundland, Newfoundland. I don't think they like it when you say it like that. Anyway, so the oscilloscope on the upper shelf means that your boss, who has chronic coffee breath, doesn't come up behind you and start breathing down your frickin' neck. I am a viewer only. You're my viewer? Actually, we have more than just viewer today. We have, I think, 2 or 3, which is pretty nice. Although things this season, it's very slow. Numbers are very difficult to come by. It's a hard word. Yeah, when you have to, like, I don't know, it's like the Delco accent. I cannot do a Delco accent. If you look up a Delco accent, I don't know how to make those sounds. My body cannot render those sounds into space. I'm good. I'm soldiering on as usual with the stream. We're still working on Burn the Subs, which I've dusted off after. Where's my mouse? I have 3 goddamn monitors now. I've the slow march of the upgrade of the system. 3 big monitors now, because I am now co-streaming to YouTube since they allowed that, which means that my VODs are automatically getting held indefinitely on the Oh Bother VOD channel. But what that also means is that I now have an Oh Bother VOD channel that I have to maintain. And it's work. I have been putting the archive of 350 several hour-long streams onto YouTube. I need to get a camera upstairs, actually, because I showed you. You know that I have a corgi now, but she doesn't visit down here anymore. I don't know. She nearly pulled a tendon in her little leg, so she's recovering from that, and she's not really doing stairs. She doesn't like doing stairs, so she has not been down here to visit, which she typically does. Oh, I also did some stuff with the rack too, where I've got branding going on over here. I know, I miss her being down here too, because she's hilarious and fun to have on camera. We taught her a couple little cool tricks, and she does her little bark. But yeah, she's been limping lately, and that's because dogs, by design, they have trouble in their, like, you have the knee joint with the two pieces of the knee joint, right? The 2 joint pieces of and the kneecaps, like, out here. And what happens is the little tendons that are internal to that joint that keep it from sliding forwards and backwards, they wear. And so when the dogs exert themselves, it can tend to stretch and splinter. Now, it hasn't been doing any sort of stretching and splintering as far as we can see, but the area is, you know, something happened. And we think it was from her full throttle running. She is the fastest corgi of the corgis in the neighborhood. And she runs like there's no tomorrow. She loves running off leash. And we have this toy that's like a little rubber hoop that would go along the ground, and that's like crack for these dogs. They cannot help but do the whole prey drive when you roll something along the ground. So we think that that's where she pulled her little leg, but she got a compliment by the vet for being very muscular. Apparently, you know, corgis of her size should be 30 pounds. She's 38, and I think that's all muscle. Give her kisses. I always give her kisses, but I will dedicate a couple to your name. My favorite thing to do is I go up to her and I go, mwah, 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 and then she just starts growling at me. She's like, One thing that I have to get her to stop doing is this very, very horrible guttural growl at other dogs. Because she's very friendly, but running full throttle is so much fun. I don't blame her, and I wish her the best. She will get the best. I will make sure of it, for sure. I forgot about the power cable. That's going to be a problem. I think we can tilt this back piece, though. Little puppy syndrome? A neck lift. What is a, What is a neck lift for, what is that? She's a good pup, though. She's been getting lots of treats and anti-inflammatory drugs as well. We gotta see if these prints turned out okay. I think they are. Weird though they be. It's strange structures. Oh, that's crazy. So is it like a cone involved? You have a little cone head running around? Or a donut? What have I been printing? It's always parts. It's always parts for stuff. Although I still have the 1/24th scale RC car bug because they're so cute. These little tiny RC cars that are like fully capable and go like 75 miles an hour. I've been trying to get a top speed out of it. And so in part, I've also been looking up like car bodies that I could print out because it would be fun to have like a cute little car that can go super duper fast. And we were talking about this yesterday. It's very frustrating to fall in love with a concept car. Oh, I don't need the 3D model part of that. It's hard to fall in love with a concept car because concept cars very rarely look anything like their actual car counterpoint. So this one right here is this cool looking EV concept that Honda came out with a little while ago, even though it says 2019. I guess they've been putting up this design for a while, but like this versus that. This is the car that came out. This is the EV that the concept car that they touted. So from that to that, it's like the lines are all wrong. Why does it look terrible? Why does it look stupid? I have a 3D model for this one. I don't have one for this. This would have been way cuter as a little tiny car that you could just like rip around. So I'm still trying to figure that out. That's been something that I've been working on. Concept cars are when a car company lets the designers and engineers kind of roll free and make something that shows off like manufacturing capability and styling. And so a lot of these concept cars are like the car of the future, and then a couple features of those concept cars will make it into the lineup of cars. It's a way to just grab the market and drum up a little bit of interest and show some design and stuff like that. There's been some truly wild concept cars in the past. There's just weird stuff that they do. But they never really, like there was once a VW concept car that was like a W configured motor in the back, and it was the whole back of the car was the motor. And the VW Vortex forum, that was the big forum for VWs at the time, went absolutely psycho about it. They thought it was the greatest car in the world, and they wanted it super duper bad. And eventually VW was convinced to have something similar, I guess, released. I know, like back in the day, Jeremy Clarkson actually drove the thing, and apparently it's too much power for that frame. And it's hard to tell VW people that their car is not capable of everything a car can ever do. You need larger wheelbases sometimes, and it's not designed for it, and it just spins. But yeah, that's the kind of thing that happens with concept cars. You just I don't know. I can't find a 3D model of that VW concept car, and I wish I could, because it's super cute, and I could put like a screen in the front because that's what the EV concept had. It had like an LED thing in the front. Why would it have that? I don't know. Can you print it? Barely. My printer could probably barely print it. I've done the little RC car bodies before, because you can find them on Thingiverse and download the STL files and then print these little tiny car bodies. And I have done that in the past. It uses a lot of filament because you need, as a car body, it's made for like a vacuum form kind of thing, whereas 3D printing starts from the bed up, and it can't have like, well, it can, but like big overhangs and stuff. At the time, the support structure was a lot of plastic. Nowadays, they have these really cool like tree branch support structures that'll hold stuff like that up and use very little plastic, which I don't have the capability of doing, but you know, it's out there. Yeah. I was saying at the beginning of stream, I was in somebody's stream and they were like mad. They were mad. They were streaming mad, and I'm not going to stream mad ever again. I've had, since I've been going through the VODs, there's been a time or two where I've just not been in a good mood to stream, and I'm like, nope, put that in the pile of things that nobody will ever see again, because I can't bring that sort of attitude. It's like, some people are very funny when they're mad. I'm not. I'm not. Yeah, some people, but not this guy. Let's do Fusion while we're waiting. We're not really waiting for anything in particular. I'll start streaming in just a minute. I just don't have a lot of content today. We're going to chest out these prints and flush the water system here, and then Burn the Subs moves into its next era of hardware design. Is me figuring out all of the little wires and where they go, what signals are going to be coming off of it. And in order to do that, we need to jump into a little bit of programming. I need to figure out what are Clipper. Oh no, what happened? I think my computer updated last night. Oh, is this going to update? Yeah. At least they let you choose when to update now, so I can actually have this thing. Did that even open? What's going on here? Do I have to go to like the recovery, the crash recovery thing? Where is that? Recover documents. There. Open. I had my computer on overnight, and I guess it decided to update or something. Programming hype. You know, there's a chance that I'll get a lot of viewers from programming. I usually do, but they're. Oh, I can't do my joke. I can't do my joke because of the lag of Fusion opening a file. Uh-oh. My timing's all off. My comedic timing. No, you get the kind of people that watch programming streams. I don't think I want them around here. I don't know. I really wish I knew how to program. It's, you know, the best thing, at least in my mind, is to take something you want to improve on that's not very complicated. I mean, there's a couple different like levels of programming that we do here. Most of the time, I'm doing very low-level stuff, and I'm doing microcontroller stuff. So most of my answer for I want to program, but I don't know how to get into it, revolves around, hey, find something you want to make, something simple, buy simple stuff, and follow many thousands of tutorials out on YouTube. Unfollowed for a lack of programming streams, I know, right? Programming is weird. It's weird because I do it out of duty. Like if I have to do programming, I do programming. It's like not something that I seek out doing, but the capabilities of being able to program microcontrollers and put something together like Burn the Subs is incredible. You spelled it wrong. Duty. But yeah, we modeled this up. I don't have this radiator yet, but we'll try to get this thing going and see if it works out. In terms of like the programming that I have to do, I think it's going to be Python, which is nice and easy. Spelled it the way you said it. No. In my head, I saw D-O-O-D-Y. That's what happened in my head. Those don't go over my head. They clock me in the brain. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, my bolts. I got bolts over here. Get those together. And then, let's see. Yeah. I think we're ready to get started. Might as well just get started. Should have known. It's hard to get inside the inner workings of a bother. Oh, and the fart machine doesn't work. That's one of the big improvements that we're doing to Burn the Subs that I need to do for the rest of the lab. You should check them out sometime, Knack. Uwu to Owo, or Uwo's Lab is what he calls it now. Uwo Slab is basically the name of the channel. And he has like 300 concurrent viewers doing engineering, but the engineering he does is like, I want to make the fastest candle. Stuff like he wants to throw a hot dog down a hallway and have it be cooked at the end of that. That kind of stuff. Yet we had a fart machine. I have had and have had and have a fart machine. I thought you knew this about me. This is a channel point operated farting machine that is hooked up to the channel points of the stream, but some of its certificates, yeah, it's a dollar store like fart button thing that has 9 different farts on it, and I think a lot of them are from Blazing Saddles. A lot of them resemble the Blazing Saddles. Fastest candle is a hot market. I'm fascinated with those survival candles, the one that you burn a candle and it actually produces a lot of oxygen. I think we ran out of music, so we might as well start the stream, but I'm gushing about Uwo's lab and the kinds of craziness that he renders onto the internet. He's like an evening slot, but I'm doing like an afternoon slot, because otherwise I would be sitting around. He has actually a real job, so he does his real job, and then he comes home and blows stuff up in his garage or whatever. I don't like doing that because I don't like blowing stuff up particularly. I worked in that industry for I didn't actually work in the blowing up industry. I worked in the reverse engineering ID industry. It was very safe. We didn't have any explosives. But anyway, I worked in explosive adjacent things for 10 years of my life, so I'm good. I don't need everything to blow up in my face. And we had one explosion here, and it was a capacitor, and it was when we were doing the previous version of Burn the Subs, and it got 70,000 views. And it's the only thing that I've had that's actually gone viral. I need to work on that. I need to work on being creative in that sense. But I'm not going to do crazy projects. You guys know me. We need to get the Node-RED that runs on that Raspberry Pi to activate this thing, and then in turn, it'll work with Burn the Subs. And so I'll have one front end for all the interactivity layer, all the meat space stuff in my shop, which means I'll be able to spool up a microcontroller to build something weird that you guys will be able to interact with. And I've got a couple lighting things in mind. I've got a couple, I don't know, weird things in mind. We should set up channel points at one point where if I can actually make pleasant sounding stuff with the modular synthesizer that I've been building, if I can actually make pleasant noises with this thing, and I can kind of call it a modular synthesizer, maybe we can set up a couple channel point rewards where it's like, 10,000 points and I rip every wire out and start over. Stuff like that. And then we can have a stream where we just kind of chill out and I try to make pleasant noises. Because that thing is supposed to replace the intro music, but it hasn't gotten there yet. I have circuit boards for all the voltage controlled oscillators coming in the mail, but Node-RED is fun. Yeah, I want to learn it a little better, because like every time I open up Node-RED, my brain just shuts down. We chill and you do not. Yeah. It'll be me getting frustrated at how many channel points people have to pull the rug out from under me. Knowing why stuff blows up is a thing. Yeah, I was involved in a lot of that, but that was fairly specific about things blowing up. But yeah, I'm totally jealous of Uwo. He runs a pretty metal stream. You know what? Let me shout him out. I never shout stuff out. I need to shout stuff out. Shout shield. No, shout out user shield off. What the hell? Oh, I guess that's a mod mode. Uwo's lab. It doesn't do anything to help me. It doesn't do anything to help me do this. I don't even know if I'm spelling this right. I think it's Uwo's lab. I guess I gotta, oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's got his username on it. There we go. Okay. To all 3 of my viewers, wonderful. Anyway, let's get rolling here. What are we doing today? I'm pontificating about all kinds of stuff that I shouldn't be thinking about, because I'm having that February breakdown where every single inch of my shop contains a project that I've told myself that I would get to and finish. And it's cascading on me. It's starting to all fall down around me. And so we're focusing on one thing that I need to get rolling, and that's Burn the Subs. So Burn the Subs have been going and going and going. We've done little tiny bits of work here and there. And last time on Oh Bother. All right, let's get that out of there. Last time on Oh Bother, we were charging up our power. No, we were actually designing brackets to hold on the new water cooling system, which involves this EK pump that actually creates a lot of heat. The pump alone is the reason why all these tubes are visible on thermal imaging. The pump is actually generating quite a bit of heat because it's going all out, and I think there's a little bit of restriction on the water lines because I'm not using big, thick water lines. We're still getting plenty of water movement down by where the laser's going to be. A full shop is better than an empty shop. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not. If I die tomorrow, which, you know, hey, maybe that'll be a thing that I do. But if I were to leave all of this to other people, they would be very, very cross with me for dying and leaving them with all of this bullshit to deal with. So I need to finish some projects and get things kind of away. I've been on a tear. It's one of those things that happens around this season where I'm looking around. I'm not making any promises. Where I look around and I see all this stuff that I have not completed, and I need to take the things that have been collecting the most dust, pack them away, get them out of the way. I need to not see them right now. That's been kind of a push with the unfinished part of the basement over there, is to get some of those piles of stuff where I go, oh, I might need this later, like old car headlights that I've replaced. Headlight housings. I was like, I could put this on the wall and I could put lights behind it. You're never going to do that. You're not going to do that. Stop giving yourself the impression that you're going to one day be like kicking rocks in the basement like, man, I'm bored. I'm never bored. I have too many projects that need my attention. And the next project is even cooler than the previous. The break that I'm going to get from that is when that RC car frame gets here. It is far away. It's in China. It's going to take forever to get here. But when that RC car frame gets here, I'm going to push everything off of the desk and then crunch my way on top of all the stuff that I just pushed off the desk and put that down, and we're going to have a stream where I just build something. I build a kit, because it just really, it's the most relaxing thing that I can do. Somebody like me. Priorities, your valuable time. It's a thing. It's like a mental game that I'm playing with myself. But part of that mental game is alleviating the need to work on Burn the Subs. The big project, the one that actually got me a lot of viewers in this quiet time on Twitch. A lot of channels are down in viewers. It's just that time of the year. So the thing that can bring everybody back, and that a lot of people will be pleased to see, is my subscriber-powered, wall-mounted, laser-burning table, laser-burning table. This thing right here. That thing is awesome. We got to get it running again. So, anywho, what do we have lined up for us today? Well, last time we did bracket designs, and so brackets I have printed them. This seems reasonably strong. I think it'll do okay. I'm worried about it like tilting. Like if I bump into the board, I mean, it shouldn't be built so that, you know, like a football player can crash into it. But if they do, I think it will survive relatively well. These are hollow structures that are filled with infill, and I forget what infill I had on. I don't remember which one it was. We could check with Super Slicer and see what it did. But they printed pretty good. They look pretty good. They look all right. This one might be a little weak. It's a little thin. It might be a little weak, and we're going to be asking it to hold a two-slot radiator. So the other radiator is in the mail. I unfortunately ordered oh God, I've got like $50 of unusable radiator coming in the mail, and I guess it'll find a project eventually. But what we need to do is we need to get the water out of this thing. So let's power down here and let's get the water out of this thing. I'll get the tubes off, and then we'll check out whether or not we can get the new brackets in place and actually hang all of our stuff up. Because yeah, this is relatively what it should look like when we're done. Which missing a couple fasteners here and there, but it's kind of useless to model the fasteners in a 3D print unless you have to have a specific, like if you specifically need to avoid something. And this bugged me earlier today when I was sizing up the parts. We didn't even see this. I really should have made this a little wider. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We can't sweat the small stuff. It took like 2-3 hours to print all of these parts, so I need to just roll forward with what we have. In terms of accessibility, I don't know how accessible this area is going to be when I build it up. I guess I can always remove the outside of this thing, but we also need to get 3 more fasteners in the thing and get this all done and ready. The other complaint that I have, we may need to reverse the pump in the pump housing, because I think it can go all over, but the cable's coming out the wrong side, and this would have a cable coming out the outside of Burn the Subs. I don't want that. I want this to look cool. All right, let's drain this puppy. So I've got a big pitcher, and I have gravity on my side. By the power of anime and gravity, I will drain this pump. All right, so let's unplug this here. Actually, unscrew. And then this thing's gonna puke out all its guts. I have a loop cleaner in there. That's why it's hideous looking water. It looks like it's lake water. All right, down we go. Now, everything on this is sort of keeping gravity in mind, so the flow of this whole system should go towards, mostly go towards the bottom fittings. There's still a little bit of like ducking and diving in this area because things go in, around, and out. So there's going to be little pockets of fluid there. Forbidden stream drink? Ew. I don't know what's in those loop cleaners. Those EKWB loop cleaners. I do need to get into this reservoir though. There's some nasty shit. I don't know what it is. Nasty, nasty. There's little like bits of, well, we're gonna use water to flush the system in just a second here, so. All right, let me see if I can get some of this stuff up. Nope, can't reach it. Can't reach it, can't reach it. Almost. No. Oh, but now I can't squirt because the water's in the wrong, damn it. That doesn't work at all. It's cursed. Look at how little water is in this system. That's not a lot of water. All right, so flush with water. Where can I put this? Geez, okay, what have I done? I need this to be in a location where it'll be my drip tray. Okay, that's getting a little bit, that's a little silly. That's a little bit silly. Do I have like a partial? Nope, can't help it. All right, I'm gonna attempt to pour water down the whole thing. I don't have a funnel. Do I have anything resembling a funnel? Maybe I can just transfer it to the bottle and then do the, because that fitting is not gonna do me any favors up there. This is supposed to be sterile. Carefully now. Oh yeah, there it is. The perfect pour. Oh no. I'm insisting on talking while doing this, which is not helping me out. Careful. Careful. Carefully. Also, what's up, Bengissimo? Groovy something. How you guys doing? I'm gonna have to do the hand method. The hand funnel, where you just do this. Don't mess this up. It's fine. Okay, that's pretty much full. Now I'm gonna just chug it down throw it down this thing. I know, I was thinking about doing that actually. That's why one of the reasons I paused was I was thinking about like, oh, should I do like a zoom on the bottle? It's not acid. There might be acid in it, but it's not acid. What's up, Hamster Overdrive? That's a great name. What I really want to do is hook this up to the kitchen sink and just like fire water through it until Mr. O'Bother. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's got that morning stream where it misses. There it goes. No, it's hitting off of the, okay. All right, that was a disaster. God damn it. Hold on. Stop it. Stop. Wait, no. Drop it. Just the best ideas. Just the best ideas. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't swing, don't swing. Jeez. No, you know that morning thing where you go to take a piss and it goes off to the one side? That's essentially what we just experienced. Huh. Me pouring orange juice. Fine for 4 seconds is all over the floor. Yeah, you're totally right. Everybody knows about this. Where did my bottle go? There it is. All right, back to filling and pouring it everywhere. Where's the most visual place for me to pour from? This tube swinging around is not helping. Oh, there goes water down over my whole system. Just trying to flush out all the cleaning stuff. Why is it the most uncontrollable stream I've ever seen in my entire life? Where is something that I can put this stuff on? Boxes? Cardboard boxes? That's going to be very precarious. Let's just prepare a cardboard box. Good. And it's not like the bottom of the box isn't sitting in a puddle, so it should be totally stable. Yeah, water and electronics are fast friends. What are you talking about? Oh, Jesus. Now I don't hear dribbling. Because I can't look all the way down there when I'm pouring up here. Ah, shit. God damn it. Well, it's partially protected. It shouldn't rust much. I just don't want anything bad to happen to this glass thing that my brother made in high school. But it's just glass and wood. It should be fine. EE and fluid dynamics. They don't really mix, do they? This thing really is just dribbling. All right, come on. So that should hopefully flush most of the coolant out of the system. I don't know. It's not going to get into everything and totally give it a flush. What I could do is put the meter back on, fill it, and then run the motor for a bit, just to really flush out all of the different facets of the cooling system, because it splits right behind that control panel. It splits 5 ways, and only one of the ways comes down here to where it will go to the laser. We're water cooling the laser because it is the best thing, not for any particular reason. The laser is going to generate a little bit of heat. A 4-watt laser diode will, of course, I mean, we're using I think it's actually like 2 something watts, and we only need 1 point something in order to burn the wood, in order to make the proper, you know, scorching of the wood. We don't need that much laser power, but we're going to have it available to us. And in doing so, those diodes, they can heat up quite a bit. It's usually okay to just have it dump that heat into a block of metal. And even a thinned block of metal will be enough that ambient air movement will keep it cool for the duration of a quick burn, like a screen name. But as such, we can water cool it, so we do. Do I have big like water stains on my pants? Nice small water stains on my pants. Also, my pants are ripped. Anyway. I've got all the facets of engineering, electronics and water. What do you mean there's more to it than that? The perfect pour. The hose is nervous. It's doing its best. Asthma stream for water. The perfect, nope, not the perfect pour. All right, I'm gonna put this thing, the flow meter, back on. If I can find it, where did I put it? Flow meter? What did I do with it? Wait a minute, what did I do with that stupid thing? I put it in a weird spot, and so naturally I can't find it now. Oh yeah, here it is, in a weird spot. I need to pre-twist. Ah, no, it's getting everywhere. Yeah, you know what? When you play around with water like this, you're going to get it everywhere. And if you get it on electronics, which aren't totally prominent here, I don't know if I'll get it on any electronics. But if I do, I just need to make sure they are very dry and clean when they start up again. The water itself is not necessarily going to be doing damage to your electronics. It's the stuff in the water that will do damage to your electronics. Although it really depends on what you're working on. But if you're working on like a computer and you get water on your computer, you need to make sure that you've cleaned things with, for instance, alcohol, which will drive the water away, because water will stick under components. and then it'll concentrate, and as it dries, it'll concentrate, and then it'll cause shorts due to the impurities that are concentrating around things drying off. Quitting time for me. All right. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you around. Yeah, we're going to be doing this for a little bit, and then we're going to get those 3D prints going, and then we can see whether or not... What's going on here? Oh, it's going to try to start up and then not start because there's a giant air bubble in it. Or did my lead slip? Yeah, we're going to do this for a little bit and then get working on mounting the pump and stuff. There comes the bubbles. We're just flushing out the cleaning agents that I put in. You can still see there's a little bit of a tinge to the water. Oh yeah, there's definitely still a lot of the cleaning stuff in here. Holy shit. That is completely nasty. Should have done this earlier. This thing does not fill very quickly, so I've got to sit here and like apply it. Come on, buddy. Whew. Here, give you guys a better look. Nasty, nasty. What are we doing? We're flushing the system to get all the cleaning agents out of there so that I can drain it, and we can then work on getting those 3D prints that we did yesterday situated. We can actually install them. We don't have a lot to do. We just have focused things to do. So I'm saying it's a short stream because I don't want to jerk you guys around and work on nothing. We don't do that here. Now, are those bubbles or are those grit? I think those are micro bubbles. I think that's what we're looking at. We're looking at micro bubbles in the system. There was a bit of like a tan tint to the water for a bit there, but I don't think we have that anymore. Yeah, this is the water cooling system for my wall-mounted laser etching table. Table is kind of a loose term there. That burns the name of subscribers onto itself. And I'm water cooling it because it's cool. It's a fun thing to do. And I have a lot of water cooling parts sitting around the shop over the years of streaming and planning on doing a water-cooled gaming PC and not doing it for many, many years. I eventually got my shit together and did it, but it required different equipment. And so you kind of tend to accumulate stuff. I've been water cooling for a long time, and I love doing it. I've done it to all the computers down here, everything that I can get my grubby hands on. So now we're doing it to the board because the previous board was water cooled in a bit of a lesser way. This one, everything that produces heat is going to have water flowing through it or alongside it or whatever. But yeah, so we're having fun with it. I'm sort of doing my duty to get this thing up and running, and yeah, we're making progress. All right, so let's drain it again. Stop the system. Stop and drain. Oh, there. We'll just highlight the hole in my pants. I don't know how I got a hole right in the freaking crotch. Must have been doing splits in these things. There we go. Of course, the water weight is going to crush that box that I have this thing sitting on, and then it's going to dump water all over the shop. That'll be fun. That'll be a fun time. We'll have a good time then. Can you say anything about the hardware used to control the water cooler? Well, right now, the control is probably going to be coming from the Raspberry Pi. So it's going to be a Python program. And it'll probably, I don't know, maybe spool up the pump at a slow speed. I'm not going to have a thermometer in the water, so I'm not sure. I know this is how the floors get clean around here, is that I run into a situation where I have to clean them. But yeah, the Burn the Subs runs off of a Raspberry Pi, and so having the Raspberry Pi run the water cooling apparatus would be perfectly doable, and it'll be via Python code. And I'll have to either, you know, I can get the temperature of the Raspberry Pi, but the Raspberry Pi is not going to get particularly notably hot. I don't think the Raspberry Pi is going to be pulling that many BTUs, right? So what I could do is have a thermometer in the water line somewhere, or because this thing is going to be so incredibly overkill for the scope of the board, I could probably just run the pump at a low speed while burn the subs is on. Like when I turn the board on and it's expected that it is going to be burning names, theoretically, assuming that I have any more than 2 viewers, then I can run the pump. That'll probably be the way that it works. Mine crypto between sub burning. Do you know how useless a Raspberry Pi is at doing that these days? All right, is that it? Are we done? Are we empty? There will still be pockets of water. Always tilt your radiators, because the radiator is just an open chamber at both ends. It's 2 chambers here and 1 chamber here, and it goes in, around, and then out. So you want to have your upward facing, your lower facing. You want to give it a little chance for water to travel out of the apparatus. It's always very frustrating to get all of the boo bells out of a radiator. This thing is still draining. I'm still getting water down here. This, of course, the pump has a little cavity in it. Try to get that. Shake it a little. And then all the water cooling stuff in the control box has tubes that are going down and then back up, so they're not going to drain naturally. Just because something is water cooled doesn't mean you have to mine crypto with it. That would have been a fun operation if I just Twitch streamed my crypto mine where we turned power into useless crypto shit and I just water cool everything. How hot does the laser get? That's a very subjective question. Unattended, if you run it flat out, it'll get pretty warm to the detriment of the actual diode itself. I don't know how many BTU it specifically creates. All that calculation of BTU and how much water cooling you need and stuff like that, that's always gone a little bit beyond me. I sort of had a friend of mine, turning $50 worth of power into $8 worth of crypto. As God intended. But all those BTU calculations in engineering, I was never good at them. I don't know what to do with that. It's like, how much power, how many BTU, like, how do I cool this thing? What's going to be required of me in order to cool this thing? How much heat sink do I need? I have never not completely guessed at that. I just completely and utterly guess. I don't know. I'm sure there's all kinds of cool calculations you could do around that stuff. Surface areas and things like that, all these numbers that I just don't have. I never have known how to do that. Never. And I would be curious to learn. All right, so that's nasty water. I got to make sure that I don't drink that. And then this is tap water. We'll put that there for now. I need to be able to control my setup, actually. So let's put this elsewhere. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, you just kind of run the system and iteratively upgrade things until it functions properly and dissipates enough. What we did with the gaming computer is we looked at what radiator surface area a gaming computer would typically require, and we matched that with my 2 smaller radiators. But I don't think that's really the way you should be doing that. I think there's other stuff that you need to figure out. And I don't know what that requirement is in computers or in regular engineering. It's just me guessing or having way overblown the cooling, which is a good place to be. Look at how clean that floor is going to be. Nasty, nasty. All right, let's see here. That loop cleaner stuff has a bit of a detergent to it, so it doesn't really dry. It doesn't really get absorbed by the paper towel. It kind of needs to just like dissipate right there. I'm going to turn the fan on it, actually. The floor fan to dry that up. It's weird stuff. I don't really know what it is. All right, back in the saddle. So now that there's not water coursing through all these components, I can actually get them out of here, and we can reconfigure the pump so that it'll go on. Of course, there's still water. I need to have paper towels at my fingertips to do this kind of stuff. Like with the streaming PC, I actually have a 140 millimeter single fan radiator and then two 80 millimeter. One of actually this, I have this in the back of the streaming PC, and that's all in that rack mount case. And then I have the big EK WB reservoir, and I don't know if that's too much or too little. I don't think I've run a stress test on the stream PC, but it's been functioning reasonably fine for quite a while. The reservoir still has little bits to puke out, but I guess I'll have to indulge it. All right, let's see here. How do I indulge this? I always keep the paper towel nearby the hose ends, because sometimes when you're unplugging stuff, you'll be unearthing a bubble will move or something will like shift into a pipe, and then it'll end up leaking all over. It's happened to me a lot. And I just want to drain that. Just so it doesn't drip all over me while I'm working. Maybe I should plug these. But that's what all these covers help. They help redirect water away from my electronics. Right, okay, so let us build up some of these parts. Now the new radiator, I don't know when that gets here. I don't know where AlphaCool's shipping from, probably China. So I don't know how long it'll take for me to get the are you kidding me? Straight up, there's just like a big pocket of water in the radiator. Radiators is very annoying. Very annoying piece of engineering. I guess that's why they have those radiators with the inlet on one side and the outlet on the other. That's probably a much easier radiator to work with. With the ones with the inlets on one side, inlet and outlet on one side, I end up having to tilt things back and forth in order to get all the stuff out. They said this is copper, but that's clearly aluminum. I guess maybe it's the brackets are steel or something. Maybe, just maybe. It's still leaking all over the place. I'm running out of paper towels. Maybe we'll get more paper towel. This is not going to be a long stream because I don't have a lot to do. But I want you guys to see this part of the whole experience, getting the 3D prints done. I mean, you guys stuck out. You folks out there, you stuck out me putting together the, it doesn't fit. Putting together the 3D model. Our 3D model is the wrong type of radiator, and so it does not quite fit. I need just a little tiny, it's like a millimeter. I need like a millimeter out of this thing. Hey, hold on a minute. Cutting mat, I don't actually, the cutting mat is from Amazon, and it's, it was gray. The light gray is very important for the cameras, because if it's green, it looks like I have, I already have high blood pressure, but it looks like I have incredibly high blood pressure. It looks like I'm about to explode as like a blood fountain, because the green will make the camera's histogram of colors shift into the green, and it goes, oh no, I need more balance. So then it shifts the colors over, and then the reds are accentuated. Hold on, I'm gonna look up what I ordered. You guys should not be privy to my order history. Orders, and then search in there for radiator. I guess the one I'm gonna get in the mail, 14222, but 14222 is what we looked up and have in here, but this one has it split on the end, and it might be smaller on that end, but the one that I'm getting shows a solid one. And then the two, full copper 80 millimeter, no, that's the one in the streaming computer actually. And then that one's triple 80 millimeter 240. I have ordered a lot of radiators in my day. The other one isn't on here. That's 2x80. These are 60. This is 2x60. It's not on this list. That's so weird. That's 140. Chipset heatsink. Nexos 45, full copper, 240, 80 millimeter 3. That's 80 millimeter. The other one's 120. The 60 millimeter one doesn't appear to be on any of these lists. So I don't know what product I specifically have. So I'm not sure whether or not bumping this up a millimeter is going to matter. I'm not certain it's going to matter. It might. Maybe I should just do it so that I'm sure that it fits, because at the moment, El Cabor, yes. Sorry, that took me a minute to interpret what the name was. This one is not the same one as the model that we have. It seems like it's off by, like, just barely off. Yeah, look at that. So that, okay, it's hard to see, but I'll show you. And if we get the printer on this like right away, it should be printed after a little while. So this isn't the long one. It doesn't take a long time. But with these two butted up against each other, look at how far off it is. It's just, get out of my way. It's just barely off. Oh, that is so frustrating. Oh, that is so frustrating. How frustrating. Because that's not going to work. I can force the screw to do that, right? I can force the screw to go sideways in order to get it in there, but this print is not complicated. This is not complicated. So what we'll do, I actually kind of want it to be a little thicker too, because this is bending a little bit. So here we're going to do a little bit of the iterative design here. Heat and stretch. No. Did you print the entire pump system? What? Huh? No. The print material that I use is PETG, and we only designed these brackets. We're only designing the brackets, but you know, they're very specifically designed for what I need them to do, so it's pretty cool. Okay, so this radiator being even with the reservoir is no longer going to be a thing. And then in terms of the 3D stuff, I've made a lot of this stuff custom, but wherever I can, I get it from the internet. Like you know, the fan is an internet model because I have no idea how to model something like that. Otherwise, it would be a big ugly placeholder, kind of like the reservoir model is a big ugly placeholder. Big ugly placeholders. I want to move this up a millimeter. So we want to take it all the way back to the step where we lock these devices in place. And I believe it's probably this step. There we go. And all of our design is based on the locations of this stuff. So if I go back, it's very dangerous to take a lot of work, like the design of these brackets, and go back and reposition things. But we try to make sure that our designs allow us this kind of freedom to move apart in the past and have everything still play out in sort of the algorithm of the timeline. This is where a lot of people will get mad at CAD programs, even though they're using it wrong. So yeah, we're off by a little bit. Let's move this up, and I want to move it towards us a little bit too. So I'm going to go back to this step, and I'm going to hit escape so it's not highlighting everything. And then I'm going to go into the tree of parts so that I make sure that I'm not just moving one component of this sort of, this is a component, but it's made up of stuff. And so if it's made up of a bunch of stuff, you can click and drag and do a move command, but you might not have selected the whole thing. So I need to go into the actual model. And this says it's model 14222, but it shows the bottom here being split, whereas 14222, according to the listing on Amazon, it supposedly has one solid piece there. McBobbles, 6 months of McBobbles. Hey, McBobbles, thank you very much. And the radiator that we have in here that I'm using anyway, just because I have it, I did order the correct radiator. I also ordered the incorrect radiator, but I did order the correct radiator, and it hasn't come in the mail yet. It's going to be half of the size, right? And then that way it'll fit with the rest of our system nicely. 60 millimeter fan and any kind of a radiator will do an incredible amount of cooling on the system. So I'm not concerned about it not being enough. And I guess if it is not enough, we'll sub in this thing. But we'll put this in there for now as a placeholder. It's just weird, the different iterations of the design not being quite the same. So yeah, move copy. And then I could move this up a small amount. I think 1 millimeter is going to be just sort of the way it goes. So I'm going to move both components up a millimeter. So move that up a millimeter. Now we're not under the gun yet because we haven't designed the solids yet, right? The solids have not been designed yet. We've rolled the history back. We've gone back in time. When they came up with the concept of the timeline, I wonder if it was just like bong smoke filled room, and they were like, bro, what if you could go back in time? Whoa, time travel? And then they came up with the timeline for Fusion 360. I don't know. That seems feasible to me. All right, so now that I've moved that up, I want to move it in. Probably we'll give it a 6 millimeter, maybe 2 millimeters in. I don't want to get too close to this stuff. Oh yeah, and don't do that. Don't double click on the part. Click it over here where it's the whole part. Move copy, and then I'm going to go doot. So now we're going to have a nice big thick piece right here holding the whole thing up. Now the question is, what actually worked in that? Oh yeah, I need to finish the position step. Now it's going to save it to that step and then roll it through the rest of the design. And it moved back. Okay, so that means that there's another position step here that actually captured the position of those elements, not where I wanted them. No, I don't think it did. Wait a minute, what did it do? The fan is now floating in space. Why is the fan floating in space? All right, Control Z a bunch. Maybe it did do the stuff I wanted. Hold on, wait, this moves, this moves. Yeah, now this is more even with that, and I click finish. Okay, everybody did stick it out. It's just for some reason the fan isn't attached anymore. Why did the fan move out and not the... This should be the same thickness as this. Oh, I see. Okay, so it didn't... It moved off of a location that... All right, so somewhere there's a 5 millimeter extrude on this. And I guess I could take it the rest of the way with another step, but it's probably better that I find where that is. Yeah, there. So distance is going to be to object, and it'll be to this here. Actually, it probably shouldn't do to object. Wait a minute. Just because that fan is kind of a complicated model. So if I take my first extrusion, that's going to be 5. I'm going to take that out to 7. And now it'll meet up with the fan. And everybody's happy. There we go. The complexity of this model makes it so that it's like a little weird. It's like, this is strange. What's that? Did you create all the models yourself? I struggle to build simple stuff in Fusion. No, so the way that this control panel file is not a great example of how things should be done. It is an attempt to build stuff in the fashion of the free version of Fusion 360. Every time I build something, I start with pulling the parts in that are external models. And I usually look stuff up on like GrabCAD, or if I'm really desperate, Thingiverse or Yegi, or one of those sites that has 3D models. GrabCAD is really the best because you get engineering models from GrabCAD. And so that's where things like the fan came from. Sometimes though, if you're doing like electronics, the manufacturer's website will have a model. DigiKey has actually a really comprehensive search for like component models for parts for electronics. And then things like, you know, the radiator is actually from AlphaCool's website, and it's wrong. It's actually, the model is a little bit wrong, which is what we're dealing with right now. So I pull all the solids in, then I make sketches based on where I'm extruding stuff, and then I put holes in it, and then I chamfer. I have not worked with things like solid, like mesh bodies and surfaces. I'm getting there with it. I don't work with those yet. I would love to build something using like a mesh body and actually have a smooth design, but for the most part, it's just been creative chamfering or filleting in order to make something look the way you see it in your head. And most of the time I'm building brackets, and brackets don't need to look good. This hinge was particularly difficult to find. I think it was a McMaster car part that I got from McMaster's website. Some stuff, did I model that? No, I didn't model any of that myself. But yeah, it was you got to find like the manufacturer's parts and then model them. Or work with their models, and you sometimes have to take their models and make them kind of work in Fusion a little better. For my purposes, usually that means I make it look good. The Vicor model, I didn't have a model of the double wide 24-volt power supply, so what I did is I took their half-sized one and some measurements, and I just sort of doubled it up in order to create all of the facets of the weird power supply that I'm using. Somebody else's model. There might actually be a good model of this now. Somebody might have uploaded it in the interim time. But yeah, that's basically what we're doing, is you take models, you bring them in, you build your sketches from there, your sketches and solids from there. That thing should be even with the outside. It shouldn't stick out. Oh God. Perfect, just what I wanted. There we go. Orthographic view so that I can see how things measure up. Yeah, okay, that's fine, perfect. That just moves the radiator in a little bit more, and it gives it a little bit more material so that the PETG actually has a fighting chance to keep this thing from snapping off randomly. Well, you can see up here that it says education license, and so I like to fool myself into thinking that I legally got an education license by teaching these principles on Twitch. It benefits Fusion 360 because people will be less frustrated with it, and it also helps me justify having a very powerful copy of expensive CAD software. Now, I could use the free version, and I probably should, because there are limitations on the free versions for how many files you can have going concurrently. You have to archive stuff. And so in a design like this, well, basically the timeline, the accursed timeline of this project would be more akin to what you would do in the free version because you can only have 20 active parts. You would take these 3D models, bring them in, archive them as you bring them into this file. Yeah, you guys are my students. I totally didn't fudge some of the little options when you choose what your license should be and get your software from AutoCAD. I did not do that. So yeah, let's get this thing printing as soon as possible because it's going to take a little bit, and hopefully we'll get it by today. So that was an unfortunate thing that one kind of ended up a little bit off. So save as mesh, save it, save. How do you plan this stuff? That's my secret. I'm never planning. I don't know if I know how to communicate that. how I come up with a plan. Because like it starts with a napkin sketch and then it rolls on from there. And then I find something like this cool box that my brother made that he was going to put a Nixie clock into. And I break apart the clock and I go, that's been sitting on the shelf for 2 years. I need to do something with this. And oh, look, it's the perfect size for a Raspberry Pi, an SKR mini board, and a VFD screen. How would I make this all go together? Oh, by designing a back panel for the whole thing. Oh, but I've got this cool like triangle thing, hex pattern plugin that I can use for it's an infill plugin for 3D printing. How can I incorporate that into the back of the design? Oh, how do I hold it together? Let's try magnets. Magnets suck. So let's use latches, and I can get these cool black latches from Amazon. Oh, but now I've got this reservoir back here and I need a way to hold it together. So why don't I design a little bracket that's going to go back here? And I have this Vicor power supply that showed up from cleaning out the storage space, and it's super powerful. And I really want to have good, clean 24 volts in my burn the subs thing. This is an awkward size to go in the 3D printer, so I'll use the $400 the $400 DIN rail mounted power supply in the 3D printer because I use it more often, and then I'll put the cool, also probably $400 Vicor flat pack power supply on burn the subs because it's the #1 priority project. So let's do that. Where's the 3D model for that part? Let's put that part in. Oh, I'll make a little miniature control panel on the side so that if I want to unplug the rest of burn the subs, I can unplug the rest of burn the subs. There's just the right amount of space if I bump it up a little bit, and then I can make a front protector for it. And while I'm on this thing, why don't I have, instead of just like a status light LED, just like one blue LED, why don't I put a bunch of them in there, and then I can do a dual color clear and black 3D print, and that creates a nice little pocket where I can put a circuit board that I can over engineer and design to go in this location. So let's design a circuit board with a bunch of different little transistors, and I can put a bunch of cool little LEDs on this and have a wiring harness. And while I have a wiring harness, why don't I use some more of these parts that I've recovered so I can actually have a DIN rail mounted circuit breaker in there in order to make sure that my power is clean. And while I'm in there, why don't I make a little DIN rail adapter that's going to adapt the DIN rail to some of this maker beam rail, and then I can have the switch stick out the side. And while I'm there, why don't I put a full power plug and a power switch on there? That's really cool, and I can 3D print that all in one color, and it'll make it mount perfectly to the side. And while I'm there, why don't I redesign these posts that I had for the back plate in order to have latches on the side so that the glass doesn't fall off. And while I'm there, why don't I actually mount that VFD and fan inside? And while I'm there, I can also put the power supply modules inside of this panel, and the power supply modules can just sit behind stuff. And while I'm there, why don't I run water cooling to all of it? That's how this kind of thing came about. And it was like, hey, this pump has been collecting dust, and I don't trust the Amazon 12-volt fountain pumps with all of Burn the Subs, and we need a little bit more pressure to get water all the way out to the laser. So while I'm there, why don't I do that, and then I can make the radiator a little bit smaller, and the cooling system will have room for all of the tubes. Whew. That's how Burn the Subs has been going, and I've left the project by the wayside for a little while in order to keep the creative juices from killing me. Anyway, let's get this thing printed. So we output the part. We output the whatever it is, the STL file. So now I can just get these off of my bed, and I'll need to boot up the printer, but I can go to my temp prints folder, which is on desktop. It's just that kind of like cascade of stuff. You know, use up the stuff that I've already got. Oh, but then I need to order something, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really been sort of a as the ideas fly. Currently at complexity level 4 times higher than the Mars rover. That ain't true. They've got a hammer drill on the Mars rover. It's crazy. But they don't do while I'm there. They don't do while I'm there. We do. We get to. Although to be fair, we do. I would like to treat Burn the Subs as a rover project, as in it is now in space and I can no longer alter anything. But I don't have to treat it that way, but it is kind of the way I like to have this project is we get Burn the Subs running, and then that's it. It's running. We don't pull it down for any particular reason. It is I've described it before as being in deep space. This project is in deep space. And it just has to run by its own merits. All right, so let's get this thing running. What does that require? I really need I need a space in my shop where I can put all the old equipment, like all the old test equipment that I have, because this new oscilloscope, the DHO914, it's got way more features and accuracy than any of the other equipment that I have. Even though it's good to have like a really high precision multimeter, this thing does it too. It's got the same amount of precision. So it's replaced a lot of the other equipment in my shop, but it's fun to have a wall. And if I didn't do the milling machine thing, this would be the spot for it right here, because then when I start stream, I can have all of that equipment, you know, fizzling and doing stuff. I like the new scope too. It was my I am now an old man gift to myself. 40 years old is not old, but I have still reached that milestone, and so I decided that I would have at least one nice expensive thing in my life. I don't have a lot. I have this shop. This is everything that I possibly care about and own in the world, except for the dog, and that's upstairs. But yeah, so I got a nice scope, and I'm really happy about it. Seeing as I broadcast projects, it is a major facet of this stream. So it's good to have a nice piece of equipment there. I need to get the elbow that I bought, and then I need to get the elbow that I didn't buy. The one that, well, I did buy it. I bought it a long time ago. So where's the water cooling stuff? There it is. It's over here. Move this stuff over here. I don't know what I'm doing about the backlog of subs, and it scares me. I actually do not know what I'm doing with that. I don't think I'm going to be burning the backlog, because that's easily a couple thousand names that we don't really need going up on there. But I also want to prevent the gold rush of people coming in who want to get their name on the board first. But at this point, I could probably just, okay, what is that view? I can probably just declare it ready to go. We need to get onto Octoprint to start up the printer. So where's my browser window? It's over here. Hold on, let me pull this in. Why did you resize like that? God, it like glommed onto my chat window and then resized itself. Sub bankruptcy for the past subs, or he's still planning to burn the year's worth of backlog. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing yet, and that's typically true of this stream. What was I looking up? Oh, Octoprint. We oddly enough, we have not had a lot of a lot of projects that have needed the scope lately. So I'm hoping that we'll get into something soon that'll require it. Clipper disconnect, Clipper state ready. And then I test the BL Touch and I heard it click. Okay, so that's ready to go. So now I can just go in here and tell it to prompt. Do the thing. And I've already got the black filament in there, so this thing should be starting up. There it goes, finding its zeros. What is that on there? Oh, that's just the hair that's on the pulley. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I guess the previous print was very tall. Yes. Good. Okay, cool. So that'll go in the background. We'll check in on layer 1 in a little bit. Well, that's annoying. That sort of puts a damper on things immediately at the start here. I don't know how long it's going to take us to mount this thing, but it's not going to be that long. Now, I used the fancy pants elbow over here. I think maybe I should turn that into one of the big elbows. Yeah, I could do that. Okay. No glue stick, no mess, no fuss, no trouble. I use a Creality, whatever that surface is. It's the one with the circular dots on it. And the circular dots are exposed glass. And the exposed glass dots are enough to hold PETG in place during an entire print. Hey, it's Code Rushed. Rating with a party of 15. How you doing, Code Rush? What have you been working on? I've been uploading VODs, and so every single time you've rated me in the past 2 years, I have had to put a note into the YouTube video. I don't know if I've given your YouTube credit. I can directly link it if you're updating your YouTube at all. But thank you for rating with 15 folks. We're working on Burn the Subs, which is my wall-mounted laser etching table, and it's designed to burn the names of subscribers onto itself. I was just explaining the 3D print surface that I use, 3D print surface being a coded... You're not updating the YouTube? Okay, well, I'm still saying Code Rush raids, and hopefully it brings a couple people over your way. Code Rush does a lot of, well, you guessed it, coding. You guys should definitely check out the channel. So my print surface is this Creality print bed. It's got the right dimensions for my specific printer, which is 310 millimeters, but also it's got this dotted surface, and the exposed dots are glass. They're exposed glass. The other material is some kind of a slippery coating that it has. And so what happens is when the PETG cools down, it's not overstuck to the glass. PETG can really hold on to PETG can really hold on to glass, and over weeks and months and years of printing, it will eventually pull the glass crystals apart. So you weaken it, you give it less of a surface. In PETG printing, putting glue stick on the glass works as an interstitial material to keep you from pulling that glass off. And for the longest time, I would print just on bare glass, and that eventually kills glass panes. And then I have glass panes that I have to throw out. It's a pain in the ass. So what I did is I got this surface, and I didn't expect it to last as long as it did. That surface really has been awesome. It holds on to that filament really well, but then lets go of it if you let it cool fully to the end. Oh, I need to get that little bit of 3D print off of the bed. Working on adding a voice to code feature with Visual Studio. Holy shit. You can put some AI in there, and then all I have to do is yell at my computer until I get a program out of it. It's like having an employee. You're basically making the AI into an employee. Oh, I like your version of it better. That's more clever than what I was saying. So what this is Burn the Subs. This is housing right now a Raspberry Pi, a VFD, a vacuum fluorescent display, and an SKR Mini. It's basically a 3D printer control box. It has the best power supply that I have, which is this Vicor flat pack power supply. I've got a circuit breaker in there. I have tubes all over the place because every facet of this project is water cooled, because we're water cooling the laser, even though we don't really necessarily need to, and it's just cool to have everything have water cooling. Because I'm a big baby with a beard. So I am a giant man-child with a shop. am I gonna get a tool on this thing? It won't unscrew like this because it goes 180 degrees. I'm trying to get this fitting, because this fitting will go on the pump. The pump will get both right angle fittings. Just got a new print surface in, and it's rougher than the old one, but it still doesn't stick without glue, stick, or a raft. This thing has been great. Because like, look, my in-between involves no consumable products except Windex sometimes. Sometimes I'll give it a spritz of Windex, which you can actually use as a release agent for the print. If you don't have time to wait for it to cool, you wait for it to cool a little, and then you spritz it with Windex, and the Windex gets in between the glass and the print, and it also cools the glass down so that it changes shape just slightly. The glass and the PETG shrinks about 3%, I think it is, and that will pop it off cleanly. And the detergents in Windex also get in there and help separate the two. So that's what I use if I'm in a rush, but I'm not in a rush right now. And I don't, you only get so many of those rush pulls because it puts a little bit of stress on the glass. But for now, this thing has been running perfectly fine, and I have a spare. I've had a spare for quite some time. I didn't expect this to last as long as it did. That's difficult to do. I'm gonna mar up this fitting. That sucks. Actually, if I use the big ball one, maybe that'll work. I have it sitting right over here, I think. Yeah, here it is. It never made it back to the hex key hanger. Using the ball end means that I can get at it from an angle, but I also risk scarring this fancy looking fitting. That'll have a couple scars. All right, there. I got it. I've been totally and completely 100% pleased with this print surface. It's actually kind of shocking that it's so good. Do I need to use a right angle on this? I think I do. I don't think the tube is going to really let me bend it the way that I want. I don't know. Do any of these don't fit with the bar there. So maybe I have to have it. Let's see if that works. It actually might, because we moved this up so far that I think maybe it'll just kind of work out. Oh no, but the bar is like right there. That might be a bit of a challenge. Let's see. So if that's right there, and I have a tube connected to it, you can see that there's like bar directly in the way. That makes it out. So if I can have it do a nice meander and not collapse itself, I might actually get away with this. Let's find out. This is an old reservoir, so it doesn't have like front fittings. This is meant to go in a 5 1/4 drive bay. I think that's when society went downhill, was when we no longer had 5 1/4 drive bays. Actually, wait, most of you guys probably do still have them. I just made I made my own custom case, and it's this weird designer case, and it doesn't have 5 1/4 drive bays on it. I like the Whirligig 5 1/4 whatever. All right, so we're going to take apart this pump. This pump has 4 long screws and then these little like rafty things. So I actually just got a set of small wrenches that I can use for this. If some of these legs don't come up with the, yeah. They've got flat spots on them, I think. Oh no, there's no flat spot. What are you doing here, EK? There's no flat spot on that. Is there like a smaller hex at the bottom of it? I need a like set of hexes. Let me take a look here. Otherwise, how do you put them in? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, that's a hex there, isn't it? I see that right there. There's a little hex at the bottom of the thing. So we can just get that out. Because what I need to do, it's not gonna work like this. It just won't do the thing. Even with the little feetsies there, it might not fit just by a little bit, but then it'll be a wire that sticks out of the side of Burn the Sub. So what I need is to go and remove these and just twist it 90 degrees. Well, actually, maybe 180 degrees. I don't know how generous I'm feeling with the degrees today. How's that print doing? Print, how are you doing? You appear to be doing well. I see my layer 1 going on there. The other part of it is that tuning website that Fatanon linked me to. And I don't know what tuning site it is. I need to add a command for that. Let me see if I can find the website that I use. 3D print tuning guide clipper. I forget which one was it. Ellis? It might have been. Yes. Okay. I give so much credit to Ellis 3D print tuning guide. Let's do AdCom print guide, and the response is this. Print guide. There it is. So this is we now have this command. Perfect. That's the tuning that I did for the printer, and Ellis's is the best. And it has left my printer in what I like to call, and it's my own term, and everyone can use it, I don't care, but Control P status, where you don't have to worry about anything. You just hit Control P, and then you have a 3D object in your hand. Printer needs to tune up real bad. I also need to move to the Prusa slicer. Yeah, I guess, what is it? The one that I use, Super Slicer, isn't supported anymore, or it's not maintained anymore or something. I'm fine with it, but I should think about moving, and even moving away from Octoprint. Apparently Mainsail is what everybody's using nowadays, but it works. What I have works for me, so I don't really have a, yeah, the 100% chromulancy. If something uncromulates, then maybe I'll think about switching to something else, but for the time being, I'm not in it to just be using the latest and greatest. I'm in it to have function out of my stuff. So I don't know, but everybody varies. YMMV, YMS, YTMND. I didn't want to have to grab the smooth parts, but I do in order to get these things apart. I guess I don't need to remove them, but it'll help me tighten them if I do. Just grab it by the part that doesn't do anything, and then try not to mar it as you release stuff. Okay, so now that I've done that, the pump is going to come apart. Roid. Of course, that's going to puke water everywhere. Here's the impeller, if anybody was curious. It's just this funky looking disc full of magnets. And then since it's a solid state motor, all of the coils are just behind it there. And then I guess somehow, by means of just being in contact with this cup, the water cools the pump itself. But that's held on by a magnet, and its water impregnated bearing is just this bead of material. And now we choose where the outlet goes, and I think it should probably go like this, because this is the interior of Burn the Subs, and it'll just run straight down from there, masked by its tubing. Now, this is where ADH Degenerate comes into my stream, and he goes, bro, why aren't you using that Molykote 111 that you bought in order to lubricate your O-rings? And I say to him, this is a silly, goofy, little, funky hobby project. While I have the means by which to sink lots of money into it, this is not to be in any way interpreted as being a professional engineering project. If this were a professional engineering project, I would be doing a lot more calculations than I've done, and I would probably have Molykote 111 in order to put on the O-rings. Molykote 111 lubricates your O-rings, and it also causes them to expand ever so slightly, and it keeps them soft and not crackly, and that in turn acts as a very good seal. But I am not a materials engineer. ADH Degenerate is. So, as such, not being an engineer means I can skip steps. Wait a minute, that's not how that works. That's not, wait a minute, I can't rewrite physics just because I don't know them? Or maybe I can. So we're just using mustard for, no, we're using Moxie for lube. My confidence is what's lubricating this whole system. my water cooling, my misplaced water cooling confidence, which I can have because I have multiple machines in here that are simultaneously water cooled and functioning just fine. Although, you know, one of them had a spring completely disintegrate inside of the water system because, again, because of my misplaced confidence, I have control over physics, and totally did not accidentally have a very strong half cell reaction on possibly a small uncoated part of a steel spring in the lines of a copper and nickel water cooling system. That spring, more than likely, a little tiny part of the spring started to corrode, and then it cascaded to everything else, and it caused a rapid corrosion event that left me with a bunch of rust in the waterway. I had to completely disassemble my computer, individually, basically like mechanically clean everything that I could get to, run cleaners in the water system. It was an annoying and possibly expensive venture that I didn't want to have to do. Now, this isn't really our only option for the cable running, because I don't want to have to space things at the top or the bottom. I want this to go directly down. So this interference here is just an unfortunate annoyance that we have to tolerate. So we just get that hand tight. Get this hand tight. All kinds of angles that probably shouldn't be happening here that would affect flow. But then again, our tube size is not really complementing this motor. And this is just there to be fancy. This is just there for visuals. This just looks good. That's the whole purpose of this. Because I could have a tube going around the front, but this will be a little bit cleaner. Be funny to do hard lines, copper tubing. Not working on the printer, no. And how dare you tempt me? How dare you tempt me to water cool my printer? Because I'll do it, and it'll be funny, and it'll be fun. I would love to do that. Imagine if the bed had just a valve on it, and so at the end of the print, it would flip on this valve and just start venting all of this heat into the atmosphere. Oh, that would be perfect. And then the part would pop off really fast, or maybe get distorted, I don't know. But no, we're working on Burn the Subs. And Burn the Subs gets water cooling because it's the, prime project around here. And it's funny. So so I'm water cooling Burn the Subs. This is my new kit of hex bolts. Let me get a wrench for this. I don't want to just use the iFixit kit for everything. I've got to justify some of the other purchases around here. But yeah, Burn the Subs is a laser etching table, and it uses a 1.4, although now I think it's a 2-watt laser diode. 2-watt laser diodes, blue ones particularly, get very, very hot. They produce a lot of heat because they're producing a lot of just energy in general. Ooh, I should have gapped those a little bit more. That's kind of tight. Perfect. Partially tight. Go to the other one. The I don't have any cooling on the 3D printer for the filament. We're still working on that. That's actually a CPAP fan for my old Philips CPAP, the one that was ejecting little bits of crumbles into people's lungs. And there's all kinds of wonderful class action lawsuits going on that I can't participate in because I did not buy another CPAP machine. I kept the CPAP machine and I took it apart. But anyway, we kept that motor, and so that's going to become the filament cooler for my 3D printer eventually. God, I would love to do a water-cooled 3D printer. One day we'll get there. Right now I'm running a Hymeria hot end. Did that bottom out without this thing? Yeah, it did. Oh, that's weird. I've got like a millimeter, so I'm going to have to file these two screws down a little bit. Or alter the 3D print, which is probably what I should do, but because I don't think this one will reach. Yeah, that one will probably barely. Or maybe I just leave it the way it is with that little gap. I could put a washer on it. Let's put a washer on it. Yeah. That's where my head's going to. We'll just put a little. I have some black plastic washers that I can put on these. I have a 1.5 watt, but I don't really do anything with it. It's meant to go on my 3D printer. Oh, that would be fun. You switched it over to Klipper. Does Klipper do two-dimensional stuff? I thought it does. Because we were going to use a Klipper API with this stuff, with the 3D printer controller that I've got on Burn the Subs, the SKR Mini. On Klipper, you could pretty much like take over everything, right? I just love the settings panel for Klipper. I'm so glad they put it all in one big document. One big dick document that you can just go into and alter stuff in. All right, washers. Washers. Where are my washers at? I never have enough washers. I always have like one kit going for them, and that one kit has been picked through until it doesn't have anything that I need in it. And here's that kit with a bunch of other hardware. Random. This used to be a washer kit. Used to be. I think I bought another one though. Didn't I buy another one? Didn't I buy another one? Chat, would you just answer me for once? Jesus fucking Christ. Why am I always asking you these questions? Let's go find a washer. I think I've got a new kit. That one just became... Louis, aka Lunatic Live, just got a CNC machine. He bought like a whole kit. He had a picture on Twitter of it all built. Looks pretty awesome. I would really like to get a CNC project going here, because then I could do I could chamber it or put a really strong vacuum right next to it and have it cut carbon fiber and actually cut shapes that aren't the wrong shapes. Because I can't work with carbon fiber. I'm not good at that, but it looks so good. CNC, 3D printing, and laser all in one machine. That would be interesting. I don't know how you would do, I don't know how I would do work mounting on that. You'd need to have different beds, I guess. The dust mostly drops to the bottom. Well, it wouldn't, like, if I built it, it wouldn't be in a chamber. Just because I don't have the means. I do have that 3D printer, like, hood thing that I guess I could operate with. I'm glad I ordered a new kit of these. It's not fun not having O-rings. O-rings are a plague. They will solve all of your problems and simultaneously cause all of your problems. Yeah, not blowing it around while it's cutting. I mean, I guess I could, if we make it with the frame that I was going to use for Burn the Subs, then it's possible that it would be able to move outside. Although I don't think the neighbors would be too pleased with me making all that noise outside. I could put it in another room, but again, the unfinished part of the basement is completely inundated with stuff. What do you call it? The old belt sander that I had is back there, along with the old, what is it? What's that thing called? Belt saw. So there's just a lot of stuff. The gun safe is back there. All the little bits stuff. My brewing setup, my home brewing setup. Put my printer in an old stereo cabinet that has a glass door in it. That's kind of cool. I think we have an old stereo in the old stereo cabinet. This is what I mean about going around. I threw out a car headlight today. I need to throw out the other one next week. Unfinished basements are the most American thing I know about. Well, you're looking at a finished part of the unfinished basement over here. That's what all this is. That's the only reason I have a workshop. But I need to start getting rid of stuff so that I have room for things like a CNC, because a CNC is something that I need. But want. I want it. I need it. I want it. I don't know if these are going to be... This might be a kind of trouble here. Is that going to reach? Yes, it will. But will it be... Oh. Will it be too much or not too much enough? Yeah, I want to need it. Kind of want to need it. Yeah, maybe these front ones aren't going to grip. Oh, it works. Oh, remember, we guessed on that number. I guessed 5 millimeters because these are kind of like there are too many bins of sizes, so they get long fast. They go by the millimeter, I guess. And we guessed about whether or not we would be able to get the screw to actually bite in, because these are reduced. These are rubber isolation mounts, and so it has like a threaded insert and rubber, and then another threaded insert, and there's not a lot of room in between. There's very few threads. Hey, thank you very much. I've the self-confidence that I have in this channel has been waning as of late because numbers have been down on Twitch. It's just that season. It's just that season. Numbers have been down, and I get self-conscious, and I know I shouldn't, but, you know, you can't help it. You can't help it when you sort of have a channel like this. But I've been seeing the numbers go down, and I've been kind of like, oh, man, like, what's going on? So it's nice to get compliments, and you guys are very nice. You guys are very nice, and it makes me a little suspicious. I'll use someday that actually worked out. Yeah, those happen a little too much, huh? Well, that's happening with this stuff. When you see the beams and stuff. Yeah, that's on the East Coast. That's pretty common. Our West Coast American brethren, who are way further west than you are, I assume, in Sweden, they don't really have basements out there. And so you run into somebody every now and then. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, a basement? What is this? That's why like Microsoft and things like that started in a garage, because they don't have a basement. Numbers are down everywhere. Yeah, I know. I see other channels, they're running like contests and stuff. They're doing those like desperation things to get viewers. And I know it shouldn't bother me at all. I don't care. I don't care at all. But I do. Basements are not a thing here in Cali. Yeah. That's what I mean. We all have them over here. Garages in the South. I wonder how, like, there's got to be somebody has to have made a map of garage versus basement. The death laser. We're technically working on the death laser right now, before your very eyes. How we doing over here? This thing has 22 minutes to go. All right. Is that the puppy? Wait a minute. Oh, Nicandria is not here anymore. Let's see if the puppy's down here. I thought I heard puppy noises. Nope. Oh, she's locked upstairs. She's locked upstairs. She's probably right outside the door, but she's not allowed to go down the stairs because of her tendon issue. The garden shed. That's also what they have in speaking of Nicandria, that's what they have out in I'm never going to be able to say the name right, but Newfoundland, Newfoundland, the Newfies, they have sheds. Apparently they're all about the sheds too. They have like shed parties and stuff. The freaks. Hey, look, it's Tom Thinks. Can't hang long, but saying hi. Get the hell out. What is your get out. Leave. I don't need your temporary ass in my... No, how's it going? How's it going? We're working on Burn the Subs, which is the claim to fame of this channel, which is a wall-mounted laser etching table. See it right there? That thing has been sitting on my wall for years. I'm starting to upload my VODs, which is 350 videos of me sitting around just like from 2 years ago. And so I'm looking at this and I'm like, all of my jokes, I'm like pulling my voice back on, and none of them are landing. This is terrible, but I'm uploading them nevertheless. There was one that I uploaded yesterday where you actually rated in, which was pretty cool. But we're working on Burn the Subs, which is something that I was working on 2 years ago, and we're trying to finish it. I'm not editing them, but what I am doing is I'm taking down the notes of everything that's happening and leaving those in the timeline so that people can skip through. And then when I'm done the backlog, when it's only the stuff that's going directly to YouTube that's going to be the VOD archive, then I need to look at the projects that I've finished, and I'm going to edit videos for that, do like a 15-30 minute build video on it where I do voiceover and I get clips of this stuff happening, and those minutes that I'm doing on all the videos are what's going to actually propel this. I did a stream the other day where I showed that process. Like I'm not even tagging these or monetizing them, because it's like, here, all of these old videos, and you guys can check them out if you want on the VOD channel. No guarantees that anybody's going to observe you seeing them, because there's just so much damn content. It's a 5-hour video every single day, and all of these have tons of copyright because my sneaky little Weasley past self thought it would be awesome to run a DJ stream that's already on Twitch so it doesn't get copy struck by Twitch. YouTube caught all of those tracks. Yeah, how is that button working? I always meant to put a silicon pad. I have this adhesive silicone pad, and I meant to put that on the bottom of the button, but I prioritized getting you the thing first. Where are those pads? Over here. This stuff. It's like this like thick silicone pad that I could have put on the bottom of the buttons, but I didn't. I just sent them out to Tom. Still using the first one, good, because those the two that I sent, I would have to find that controller. I think it was a German controller. I don't remember. I bought it at Micro Center out of like the bargain bin, and I used those button pieces, and I don't know of anything else that uses that same rubber button. I'd have to re-engineer something, which is not that hard to do, but it's still just a thing. Yeah, that was the Tub Bro controller. An error on the PCB. They misspelled turbo, and so they called it Tub Bro. You just think of this guy who's just like sitting in his tub, and you're like, hey man, what's going on? He's like, hey, so I see you're taking a bath. Yeah, bro. Tub Bro. Okay, so we got to get the right parts on the rails. Turbo. Once in a while it doesn't work for a second, but I usually disconnect and connect it again. Why would it do that? I wonder. It could just be the plug wearing, I guess. I don't know. It never fails after it works the initial time. Well, no, it's not USB. It's just a button. It's just a button pressing on a mono headphone cable. And so that mono headphone cable, if it doesn't work, try twisting the cable back and forth. It might be one of those things. It might be a mechanical thing. Or it could be that the rubber settled a little bit. Maybe it's not as reliable. It could be that the contacts on that board aren't quite contacting right. I have all the extra boards over here. I think I showed it off the other day. I keep every single one of my designs in a drawer. So the VCOs that we designed recently we're going to do. But yeah, I have Tom's PCB right here. I have an extra one. There's a couple extras, but it's two headphone jacks and then just a split pad. And I put all this artwork on it. It's a good button. It's pretty good. Yeah, I had to vectorize some of Tom's art and then throw it up on the board itself. But the circuit is just mind-bogglingly simple. It's just, hey, this pin, oh God, I can't keep it still. Hey, this pin, why don't you go ahead and just connect to both and then just go to one side of the button and the other one will be ground. That's it. That's actually Tom's font. That's his handwriting font that I used. Yeah. Sorry, not to totally fangirl Tom Thinks, but if you guys want to watch a really cool application of Adobe Flash, which is not just because we were talking during the intro of the stream about how Adobe essentially just destroyed an entire like era of the internet by moonlighting or whatever you call it, Flash animation, and some efforts, some projects have actually been restored. I think Newgrounds is working on some kind of an engine for Flash. But Tom uses a slightly different Flash animation. But what we were saying is that there's content like games that weren't popular, but they were funny. Those are not getting updated, so they're gone. They're just gone. That whole category. Itch.io has a lot of developers coming in and taking Flash and making actually good games with it. But it's like if it's not popular at all and it's abandoned, you're not going to see that update. So what do you do? But Tom actually does. Tom does what you would consider live animation, because he's able to draw and then drop an animation element that plays in code. And so he has controls for all of that stuff, and he basically marionettes an animation, and it's hilarious. It's actually brilliant. I love it. Ruffle. Who? Is that? I guess it's a program. Some stuff had dependencies that don't work. Ugh. But isn't that other? Oh, I see. Manual V tuber. That's a great way to describe it. But yeah, he was having orthopedic troubles with a foot pedal that was meant to be used while sitting. And standing and foot pedaling is a different affair, and that can cause stress. So he wanted to have something on his desk that was a button. He took apart the foot pedal, and since Tom's level of engineering is Scotch tape, he had a piece of Scotch tape holding the rubber button down, which if you've ever used Scotch tape, you were cringing. I was cringing. So I decided to take matters into my own hands and the fact that small PCBs are 5 for $5. Hey, what's up, Butterdog? Butterdog is that one of those rare YouTubers that actually, YouTube watchers that jumps into chat. We're mostly over here on Twitch, and if I'm playing music, you will only hear it on Twitch, and only live. But anyway, I decided to take matters into my own hands and flex my ability to create 3D and 2D designs in Fusion 360, and I made a circuit board, and I sent it to him against his will, and it's working great. It works great to this day. But yeah, anyway, back to burn the subs. We got to actually mount this pump on something, big old water cooling pump, and we're going to have that hooked up to the whole water system, and then I'll provide enough pressure to get all the way to the laser, which is why I have this big reel of tubing right here. All right, so that means that I got to get the reservoir off of here. The way MakerBeam works is you get these square-headed bolts, and the square-headed bolts go into MakerBeam and don't twist. And so what you can do is you can put a nut on the bolt, and that allows you to build all kinds of temporary, permanent structures. Temporary, permanent structures. Remember, all the stuff you build with MakerBeam is temporary unless it works, in which case it's permanent. That is a red-green quote. Ah, it's Grandma's birthday. All right, have fun, Tom. Thanks for stopping by. It's good to see you. Yeah, happy birthday to Grandma. Twitch's grandma. Do. I love Tom's stream. It's really fun. Really fun time. All right, let's get the other side of this reservoir. This is like the most precarious thing in the world because it just drops a reservoir on you. That or it drops water on you. Never pleasant. Or it drops a screw on the floor. The only problem I have with MakerBeam is that all of the fasteners are actually stainless steel, and they're like quality stainless steel. And you're like, wait, but bother, that's good. No, it's not, because what happens is your screwdriver, when it's a little bit magnetic, drops all of the hardware, and it all ends up on the floor. Not just some of it, all of it. And that's where the drop counter came from, was when I was building the... You got an Instagram. I do not. I do not enjoy Instagram. I have a Twitter. I twitch. Or is that as I post on X? Oh god, that's so much worse. But yeah. So if TikTok, no, I probably should though. That would bring in viewers. If I did a TikTok where I do like a little like booby dance every now and then. Here, I'm gonna put you guys right here because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run this reservoir under the sink because there's crusties underneath it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a BRB up, and then we'll flip the view like that. You guys can see that. Move this guy out. Yeah, but we're over here on Twitch because Twitch is, I don't know, it's just more fun. There we go. All right, I'll be right back. Did I put up BRB? I put up BRB. This is only going to take a couple seconds, so I'm just going to run it under a bit of pressure, water. There we go. Okay, so I just put a bunch of water in the reservoir and then I shook it like a baby, and it got rid of all the little crusties that were like just finding the bottom of the reservoir. Problem with all the clear plastics is that it shows everything. Let's go back to this view, and oh, I need to I have a different setup for the rack view. Where's that? No, that would be in overlays, Raku. There we go. Okay, now you guys can see. That's one thing that I've been meaning to do, and there's a way to automate that pipeline, is the clips to shorts. Clips to shorts, and I guess I could also do clips to TikTok. Although I don't know, man. Who's using TikTok, you know? Did I really have 2 of those elbows and now I have 3? Huh. I thought I only had 2. Or I thought I had 1. I have 2. Because I had 1 explode on the computer project. Well, I guess I didn't need to spend that $14 on another one. Oh well. God. All right, let's get this thing up and off of here. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if I could have stuff posting to other platforms. I cannot keep up. That is just so much to ask this old, batty old maker to keep up with. I can barely keep up with the YouTube and the comments that are rolling in on that. I check them every now and then, but... And then what I really can't handle is people who are like, wow, this is so great that you're doing this project right now. And I'm like, I did this 2 years ago. This is 2 years old. Don't think for a second that this is modern. It's the streams that are modern, not any other of the content. It's all old. I'm old. I'm actually fine with being old. It's totally fine. I do wish I didn't have to have roommates, though. Okay, that one's stuck in there. There's a couple strategies for getting a bolt that's stuck in a driver out. This one is small enough that I don't have to do any of the car stuff. My favorite one to do is with like sockets, car sockets. You throw it on the ground. You just throw it on the ground and it'll pop out. But this isn't doing anything. It's bent in there. Do you ever do anything with an SDR radio? My credit card got flagged as being suspiciously used as soon as I tried to get a Dolphin Zero, and apparently people are getting arrested for having those, which is more incentive for me to get one. The problem is I am powered by Bluetooth Low Energy. My Omnipod pumps are Bluetooth LE, as well as my phone, which controls my glucose, my blood sugar management. So I am not waiting in line to get radio hacking stuff, although it would be fun to play with and figure out what we could see. I also, the radio signals that I have available to me in this basement are things that I don't want you guys to see. If I was a social streamer, or even social in life, and I went places with my hardware streaming, then I could see myself doing some SDR stuff and having fun with that. We could get into like the local equipment network and stuff like that. But sadly, all I would do is dox myself tenfold. I would just continually dox myself over and over again until one of you freaks decided to take matters into your own hands and make my network private or something. Do you put the date of the VOD in the description? Yes, I do. Yep. That is one of the primary features. OBS records the date on the file, so I know the exact date when it aired. And I'll put that in the description. Some of the streams I do skip. Some of the streams I skip because sometimes stuff just doesn't work out. Sometimes things are just boring. We're doing engineering, right? This is another reason why I keep fucking fangirling Uwo's lab. I keep fangirling him. Because... well, he has a big audience. That's the primary thing. But also he has very exciting stuff going on. He's got a lot of shouting and fun, and people are doing stuff. So it's pretty cool. Same reason I fangirl Flatulent Gonad. He has a lot of cool stuff going on in his stream. A lot of visual things. So I got to figure out what my angle on stuff like that's going to be. Do I have 10,000 cameras? Or do I have like physical stuff that's going to be taking up that sort of? And that's typically what it is. The busyness of my stream is taken up by the stuff sitting around my shop. And people constantly ask me about things that are out on the table. So, yeah, it's all the things you consider with streaming, huh? Too late, we're already in your walls. Grandma's living in the walls, oh no! All right, so let's get the pump up here. Pump up the jam. Who is, I guess like a food manufacturer is pumping jam. I guess that's what that song is probably about. It's a food manufacturer wanting to move their product from chamber to chamber of their system. And I guess it's got to go up, so that's kind of an important thing. I mean, they are called CNC Music Factory, so... But for some reason, the Music Factory is pumping jam. I don't know industrial processes enough to really evaluate this one. You guys can maybe figure it out. Getting 3 fasteners on this thing is, first of all, an annoyance. Second of all, an annoyance. There we go. So that'll be able to wiggle a little bit, but there's enough material in these posts that I think it turned out pretty well. Smackers! These are using plastic washers. I have plastic washers in a different location. I should probably continue to use the plastic washers, even though Burn the Subs does get the best of all the parts. I don't know. I should use these up. So hold on. I'm going to try to find my plastic washer. Oddly enough, that's not a sex thing. What are these parts from? Some cool parts. How dare I have a stash of moderately cool parts in a location? These are from other water cooling projects. Let's see. I've got all these. You guys come down here. Come down here with me to the underworld. Yes. There's all this stuff down here that I routinely reach for. All these neglected things that you see in the shop. Packages full of countersunk screws, old bins of washers, things like that. And so whenever I get down here to the underworld, I'm looking for these kinds of parts. And I can't see you guys because you're on the monitors all the way up there. Here's where they are. God, there's a lot of dust around here. I thought there were... No, there aren't. What? I thought this was the one. It's not. There's one of these things that has some black plastic washers in it. What about you? What the hell? What the hell? What is all this stuff? What our thing? Huh, which one is it? Show yourself before me, right now. I'll read you guys in just a second. I'm just gotta find the right thing here. All right, now I'm starting to get pissed off. One of these has all these computer screws in it. Maybe it is this one. Okay, hold on. Let me get my knees ready. All right. Oh, I made it. 2 gantry Burn the Subs with camera movement still in the future. I don't know. I'm not sure. Playing it by ear. If I add a gantry to the current Burn the Subs, that would be a lot of mechanism to get up on my wall. Maybe it's something worth doing. I'm not sure. And then in the far-flung future, when I can actually work on the next version of Burn the Subs, I have different ideas of what I'm going to be doing. And I would keep those secret, except I'm really bad at keeping secrets like that. I'm really actually quite terrible at keeping that kind of secret. And the secret is that I'm going to build 2 robot arms. And the 2 robot arms are going to work in tandem with one another using the Outrunner motors. And possibly a Granite Devices controller. But that kind of thing is what I should keep a secret until I'm actually working on it. Just so that it has a little bit of punch. But again, I have not been able to have the self-control to hold back and let stuff be surprising. You guys don't really let me cook anyway. You guys don't really let me cook. Let's be honest. You gotta know everything about everything I'm working on. Otherwise, I get all of the suggestions people don't know that I've already come up with solutions for. Which, you know, that's just the way it works. There's nothing special about that. Nothing special or nothing that I can actually, like, prevent. It's just how streaming works. You know, you click on a maker's stream and you wanna use that part of your brain. You wanna think about cool solutions and stuff that they can, you know, incorporate into their projects, because it feels awesome when you have that suggestion that they haven't thought of yet. And they're like, whoa, that's a cool idea. But I don't do that. I see your suggestions and I go, your idea made me sick. I'm physically ill. But I do know that that's the tendency of people coming into the school, so it's all fine. It's all good, baby. Where are these washers? I'm starting to get fed up. I had a ton of these plastic, and I used them on that piece right there, the piece that's up there. I just don't know where they went to. They were in a drawer with a bunch of other fasteners in here. Was it in this one? This is the same one as before. This one has the red washers in it. I don't know why I'm being so particular about this part. I just want it to match what's already there. There's a bunch of silver washers in this one. I guess we could just use the washer kit, and I'll just redo all the washers with metal. Hoop. Technically, you don't want that nut to be carving its way into the 3D print. So putting a washer on there spreads that out a little bit, and it helps the fastener really kind of put pressure on the components. And it also keeps you from scratching your beautiful surface finish when you apply the fastener. But I guess I don't really need to worry about that so much. I'll use these. These are the ones that disappeared first in this kit. And they're metal. Bring you guys up here. Oh, we're actually further up than that. Burn the Subs is a very vertical control panel just because of the size of the board. And my camera is wide, not tall. So it ends up being kind of difficult. These are the wrong size. These are too big. Ends up being kind of difficult to film this because everything is wide and not tall. Maybe if this was TikTok, you'd shut your mouth. I don't want to hear about TikTok again. No, it's fine. We had a chance to have everything be horizontally filmed, and TikTok came along and undid all of that. You know, we used to be able to get mad at people for filming vertically, and that new format, phone to phone, ruined everything. We can never go back. That's funny how that happened, though. I guess it was, what was the other one? The one that shut down? Vine. There we go. Just took a second. All right, hold on. I'm going to move my windows back because you guys are, windows are on stream. Okay, let's see. Yeah, get the rest of these fasteners on, and then the pump will at least be hung, and I'll need to get the maker beam screws out. I had a chance to get them, and I didn't. Is the 3D printer, I'm not hearing anything from the 3D printer. Oh, good, it's cooling. Good, good, good. Wait, what happened to the top there? Oh, no, it's still there. It's just dark. Hard to see. Cool, now I'll have both of the brackets. Sweet, just as I get this one mounted, too. You know, I thought this would take 5 seconds today, and apparently it's going to take a little longer than that. Mainly because I'm taking my time. I know that this is not a big complicated project. If it was, and I'm picking this up a little bit right there just to make sure that the pump doesn't sit against the wood. I want to give it a little bit of room to vibrate. But yeah, I'm taking my time on this, and we've had a lot of old faces jumping in today for some reason. And it ends up taking up a lot more time than I thought it would. That is solid. That is way more solid than I thought it would be. I guess just by virtue of the amount of material on it. But yeah, that's on there. That's not going anywhere. Beautiful. It's nice to have a quick project like that kind of work out. This is always going to bug me that I can see just a little bit of the wire right there. Okay, so let's do the radiator now. We got to make sure that this thing is cool enough, though. What are you doing temperature-wise? Oh yeah, it's still way too early. We need like a minute or two for it to cool down. I was always wondering if I should put like, I have this giant 200 millimeter Noctua fan. I was wondering if I should like put this in the bed, like put it like down under the printer, or like as a side feature, and then I can just run air over the whole thing once it finishes. Just like put it right here. I don't know. Maximum cooling flow. It would be kind of awesome, though. I guess I could even hang it off of the... Well, no, if I hang it off the axis, it's probably going to crash into something. Put it, like, back there. Get those... what are those super-duper fans that people use? the Delta fan. I have one Delta fan. I think maybe two Delta fans that I could use for that. Use it for fume extraction. That's pretty good. What I need to use that one for, what that's supposed to be, is cooling for the streaming equipment rack, and that's this over here. But through the years of streaming, almost a year since I've really reconfigured this whole thing, the computer here sticks out of the back. I would have to get rid of the handrails, design a front end, and then move everything forward just a little bit, and then I could potentially put the back onto that, in which case I would want to get that 200 millimeter fan, give it a big cutout. Do you own a microscope? Yeah, it's this. But also, there's a 2-eye microscope right there. I should throw that out. My brother gave me that. I should give it to his kids or something, because I don't use it. I don't need it. He bought me that microscope because he got into eBay microscopes, and he thought that his brother who solders stuff would love a good microscope. But we have a slight different need here. We need to also video everything that I'm doing. So in order to do that, I put a Logitech webcam into a Kuro Kesu aluminum mount, which adapts it over to C mounts. C mounts have a lot of different microscope mounts, but they also have adapters from the C mount to a Nikon. And then I had a Nikon. I guess I still have the camera. It's like an HD picture camera from 2012, 2014. It's so old it doesn't work right. Anyway, I have lenses, which are nice lenses, and then I have lens filters that are my secret sauce. But putting this onto the camera, and of course putting the filter back in, moves the objective down, or rather moves the objective away, which makes it into a microscope. And the microscope has an incredible distance standoff. So now I can get up close and personal with tools that are way too tall. And another effect of that is that I am viewing the microscope through the OBS window, which is up on top of this shelf, which means my back is straight, which is really, really important if you plan on doing a lot of soldering. It's what the Scorpion microscope does. It gives you a 2-eye objective, so you don't have to hunch in and put your eyes over the lenses. You want to keep your back straight in your shop. It's very important. What's up, Wonky Robot? The YouTube chatters are few and far between, but I love you guys. We're all over here on Twitch where it's nice and cozy. I don't have the heat on over on YouTube, so you guys got to kind of bundle up over there. Actually, speaking of which, I'm freaking sweating. I'm going to open this window. Oh, God. Looks like rain out there. This just looks like rain. It's just a winter day. Normal winter day. Let me get the Windex. I'm going to Windex this. Windex has detergents in it that get between the print and the bed. It's cold. I have Eakins digital scope. You get used to it quick. That's interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of cool products out there for scopes, and I really wanted to get one of those spinning lenticular lens scopes where you have, it looks like crap, what's it called again? Oh, I can't remember anything. What's wrong with my brain, guys? There's a bunch of crackling noise just then of this thing popping off. Is it Ralph Bakshi? What was that game? The interactive games that he did. There was one of them that was, actually no, the one in the arcades was a cowboy one, but there was a 3-dimensional one. And those lenticular microscope lenses look like that, where you look into a thing and it's 3-dimensional somehow. It's a very cool setup. And you can also get camera mounts for those. So I could put a webcam on one of those, but they're big though. They're big. Having a laggy microscope is actually terrible, and that's something that pushed me to do this, to do the webcam setup for this. Same with the thermals. We had laggy equipment, and I can't stand that because what you're doing is you have a soldering iron that is capable of burning your flesh, and you have a microscope that's capable of giving you a front row seat of your burning flesh. And so, as such, I do not want to burn my flesh in front of my microscope and get a front row seat to it. That's what those laggy setups do, because you're moving an iron in and you want to stop before you hit your finger. Well, if there's lag, you're going to hit your finger. Well, as much as I flagellate on stream, I'm not going to be doing that anytime soon. I don't enjoy burning my hands. I have a tolerance for it, sure, just out of experience, but I don't think I'm going to go and purposefully... Watch, I'm going to get the right radiator today, just because I've already mounted this. Where's the... There it is. Okay, so this should fit. Let's see if this fit. Should fit and fit are two completely separate concepts. However, you've got to be kidding me. You... Are you fucking serious? Did something snap it back into position? That looks like it's as far off as it was before. You've got to be kidding me. We'll try to see if we can make this one work, but I got to change the model. SEM 3320. But you're away. You can't use it. Damn. Yeah, the VCO PCBs are, they've been sent. I've ordered them, but I don't know what their status is. Seed's going to take a little while probably to get to them. The batch process for PCBs is always a little bit funky, and I'm ordering a yellow and I think a black PCB. I actually kind of forget what colors I chose, but it might take a little longer if it's sort of a less used color. If I did green, I'd probably get it pretty quickly, but we already did green with the Tom Thinks boards, so I wanted to give a different color an old try. Just give it a shot. It did not move at all. Okay, so here's the thing about AutoCAD is sometimes if there is a step in the process that is unaltered, or sorry, if there's a lockdown step, sometimes it kind of ignores it sort of re-centers it. Actually, wait, that is up a little. It should be up 1 millimeter, but yeah, that seems to be up a millimeter. It just wasn't enough. I guess it was off by several. The New Year in China, they actually have a thing on their website that says that they would be back on the 17th. So I don't know what their backlog is now that they've taken their time off, but I think they're done with the New Year's. Which, hey, I am all about taking... They can take any break they want. They make a very pretty PCB. They can take their time. That's okay. Although I should have probably put my... oh, well, you know, my Twitch site is all over those circuit boards. So if any of them decide to pull open a browser and check it out, maybe... maybe somebody wants to sponsor my stream. Nobody wants to sponsor my stream. My stream is stupid. All right, let's get some stuff out of my way. And then we're going to take a look at the CAD files that are all wrong. I'm so mad. I'm so mad all the time. I don't know why. No, I do know why. It's because of my own incompetence. The anger in my heart is of my own design. Always. All right. Here and then Fusion. Why it opened twice? Why it opened twice? Well, this one's the old one. What the? Who did that? Come here, Swede. What are you doing, man? I sponsor Stream Me. Come here. That one the beat drop guy? Fijala Jokut. Fijala Jokut. There's an L at the end. I don't know how to say that name. I can't. I just don't know. I don't know. Velkiden, Veet Nukem, and Hamster Overdrive. You all can thank Chimera Swede for gifting you subs. That's the second time you've gifted a bunch of subs in here. Thank you very much, dude. I really appreciate it. Sponsored by Chimera Swede. Wrong CAD files. It wasn't the wrong CAD files because we modified it all within the same window of Fusion. We made it wider and we picked the radiator up by 1 millimeter. But apparently 1 millimeter was not enough. It would not be satisfied with 1 millimeter. It doesn't really look like 1 millimeter, does it? Well, CAD makes everything look gigantic. Let's just see here. It is, in fact, a millimeter that we moved it, and that wasn't enough. How is that not enough? How are you not satisfied? All right, so let's move it up again. Move it up again. It's going to stick out a little bit, but I guess it's okay. 2 millimeters between friends. I've been accused of less. All right, so we go back to this step, and we grab our 2 objects, but we don't grab them directly. We grab them off of the tree. Scroll, scroll, scroll. This is such a curse to design. So I grab this, and then I grab the Noctua. No, not that one. I grab this Noctua. Did I grab the right Noctua? These should be aligned. Yeah, they are. Okay. And then we hit the move command. Pop. And then I bring it up 1 more millimeter. Should I do 2? Then it'll be off by 3. And we'll know that this absolutely cannot collide anymore. I don't know. I designed panels for 3D printing with screw towers to lift LCD displays. Got to be millimeter correct. Huh. I have 12 throwaway 3D printed panels here on the table next to me. Damn, darn you, Fusion. Yeah, we can blame the CAD program for that. We'll just blame the CAD program. I'm blaming my 3D model. AlphaCool gave me the wrong 3D model for their product. Definitely. But like, yeah, luckily this only takes like an hour to print. It's a nice little iterative design. It just didn't, it seemed to me like, I guess that is off by a factor, you know, 2-3 millimeter. So I guess we'll give it 3 millimeter, huh? Yeah, thank Chimera for that one. That directly benefits me, so maybe you shouldn't even, don't even, like, just thank Chimera Swede. Thank him for helping me out. Them, him, probably, him is probably a good assumption. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, we need more millimeters. Damn it. I was really hoping this would solve it. So I'm giving it 2 millimeters, and that'll definitely bump it up to the point where it doesn't collide with this bottom bracket. This one is actually going to be a much weaker mount because I don't have that big piece that goes over the rail. Because that's where it'll pivot on this, and it'll have a long pivot to pivot with. Instead of, if I try to move the pump this way, there's a big block of plastic that's actually sitting on top here that it'll hit up against. So if I go to the pump and I push on it inwards, it's hitting up against the rail right here. This way would be just as flexible, but I guess it is pretty strong like that. So unfortunately, the radiator is a huge moment arm, so that's going to cause maybe a little bit of issue. I guess the radiator would hit up against the rail as well if that hole wasn't okay. So we do have to do another print. I can't wiggle that into position. And I guess that's the only modification that I'm making, is just moving it up 2 millimeter. Done. That's kind of sad because I thought there would be plenty of room for this radiator. It's possible that the radiator that I get in the mail, whenever it gets here, doesn't have such a wasteful top piece and actually does match up with the CAD drawing, but the listing on Amazon had one big solid piece up at the top. So that's, AlphaCool has lied to me for the last time. Not really, they're probably going to end up lying to me quite a bit in the future, but let me check to see what is the distance between the top plates of both of these. 3 millimeter. Okay, so that altered file. So everything worked as it should have. I just wasn't aggressive enough with my modification. So I'm going to save that as a mesh. There. That'll go into the temp prints folder. Make sure, yes, and it's going to replace the old one so that nobody will know about my old designs. Okay, and then we go to this folder, temp prints, open up Super Slicer, go back to 3D view, hit delete, bring the new part in, knock that sucker onto the plate, and run out of things to do for stream. It's like, yeah, I'm digging my own grave here. This is going to be where we stop. I made it to 4 o'clock. This is much longer than I expected, and it's all because of this part right here. How scripted is that? Hey, Keeper of Maps, how's it going? If you're working behind the scenes with Cosmo Quest to do a raid, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be streaming. This is a 40-minute print. Maybe we just watch this. Wait a minute, what's going on here? What the? What the? Huh? What? Why did that happen? It moved. Okay, we got to solve that problem. That's new. That's new and unique. I guess we're gonna be here for a little longer. We're gonna be here for a little longer. Something weird happened with the design. Instead of moving, it moved the entire piece of plastic up, whereas the piece of plastic was actually supposed to be based off of this rail, and that rail isn't moving. So it should have extended by all means, but for some reason it didn't. So let's take a look at the sketch and what's happening in the sketch. And maybe it's just the dimensions that are yeah, why did this move? Oh, because 3-point boxes sometimes don't snap to the proper stuff, and you need to come in and take it over. No stealth raid about to happen. I've been in a 3-hour Teams call all afternoon. I am lucky in my professional life that I don't have to deal with that kind of stuff as of yet, unless somebody else decides to really organize streamers and gets me in on their little organized setup. I haven't had to deal with that, and I'm thankful. Oh, we didn't chamfer these inner pieces. Let's do that. Why did I click there? Why is brain no work? See, that's what Fusion 360 really needs to hire a bunch of really tired engineers and get them to use their software, because that will give you almost immediately all of the UI issues. You'll be able to drill down all the UI issues if you put some really tired people at the wheel of your program. We got all the right chamfers on that one, okay. I don't normally have 3-hour Teams calls, but today was a special mandatory to be in type call. Ew. Oh, I hate those. It's like a school assembly. I do kind of want to bust out the edges a little bit so it's a little bit more elegant around the fan, but this is such a minor issue. This is just like a visual issue that by all means I could address. I think it's maybe too much. I don't need to worry about it so much. It would look a lot better and it would feel better. Now we're not doing it. I'm leaving it the way it is. So let us go ahead and get the radiator mount and save it as a mesh. And save it there. Overwrite the old one, because there's no reason why we'd want the old one. And now we can put it into Super Slicer using time-honored technique of drag and drop. Yep. Bring that over there. The center of my printer is now the best printing area after that guide, the Eli's 3D printing guide. They really did a good job. Slice now with the Hymeria hot end and Clipper and all that stuff running in tandem with one another. It is a wonderful 3D printer that I don't need to worry about. All right, let's start that print. Because I moved everything off of the print bed, it's ready to print. Now, the only thing that could possibly affect my beautiful print is the fact that I had a bunch of Windex on there without having wiped it. Because usually I do wipe it, but I'm out of paper towels due to all the water spilling everywhere. Again, totally my fault, but you know how that is. Let's put the reservoir back on. That'll take up a little bit of time. My other question is, can I put the reservoir on and put the fitting straight on in the back? Will there be enough room? Let's get all of the fastening hardware. I need a couple more bolts from the Maker Beam here. The printer's going to do its thing. The heat up time, I don't think is factored in to the time wizard on Clipper that I have. I don't think the heat up time is factored in, so it may be a little bit more than 40 minutes until I get my new part. So we might stop stream. Oh, there's all this cold air down here. Oh, it's wonderful. Leaving the window open is starting to take effect, so I'm like, all this cold air is filtering in. It's all stuffy up here. Hope I have enough of these bolts. I need 3 more. Maker Beam bolts come in specific sizes because they are specifically made to be flat in the head so that they don't twist inside of the beam. Here's a little bit of Maker Beam under the scope. Wonky Robot, hey! Wonky Robot, thank you so much. Hey, welcome to Twitch, thank you. I joined over at the dark side. Yeah, YouTube is a little bit sparse at the moment. I don't have that many YouTube viewers because I'm brand new to the platform. Now that Twitch allows me to simulcast to both, I am now streaming on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. That way, the 30-day deletion of my VODs can still happen, but the VODs will stay on YouTube forever. Boy, oh boy, do I make a lot of content. 350 videos are going into that YouTube channel. I've gotten through more than 100 of them, and they've been releasing daily for quite a bit. But anyway, yeah, this is a MakerBeam screw. It's basically a stainless steel fastener that has been modified. Jacose! Hey, long time no smell. How you doing? With a Prime for 50 months? Dude, thank you, Jacose. How did you do that? My Adam Plays subscription fell by the wayside. I lost a multi-year sub on his channel because it was Twitch Prime and because I didn't check. Because the Twitch Primes don't remind you. You just don't get the remotes one day. Oh, I'm so mad about that. My streak has waned since then. I think I missed a month here and there. Terrible. I'm the worst. But yeah, MakerBeam modifies the screws like this, and they're stainless steel fasteners. But what they're designed to do is to go into the channels of an extruded rail. And the extruded rail, because of the geometry of the extruded rail, it is stronger than just a straight up piece of metal. It's got a little bit of strength in those folds. And those folds also accommodate the bolts and keep them from spinning. So you have brackets that come with MakerBeams where you can build structures. And it's actually a wonderful thing if you're getting into a modular synthesizer and you don't want to spend the money on a modular synthesizer rack. My streak is just like 4 months because of that. It says 50 months here. It says, well, it doesn't say in a row. It doesn't give you the in a row. So that's probably what that is. But it still says subscribed for 50 months. So I guess I could just hide my streak on the other channel, right? On Adam's channel. That's probably what I should do. Using 3 fasteners in this manner is extremely annoying because if you tweak it just a little bit, it gets stuck. And when you have 3 of these and they're this long, they tweak very easily. That's why when I insert them like this, they do the little blah, 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 and then fall. Okay, so that's 3 there for that, and now I need 3 more, and I think they're on the desk. Yeah, here they are. 3 more. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, there. And that's all the fasteners on that side. I need 3 for this side. That's where I'm looking for more. I think I'm almost using up all the posts that I have. I'll get the reservoir hung, and maybe that'll take us 40 minutes. Probably not, though. Hello? 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 There it is. Oh, it just refuses to move. It just straight up doesn't move. Blah, 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 blah. And we're actually working on Burn the Subs, believe it or not. Got a lot of flybys from some cool people today. And yesterday. Louis stopped by yesterday. We had Tom Thinks, we had Nicandria. A lot of faces from the pandemic era of streaming when we were all stuck indoors and looking for each other. A lot of cool streamers out there, though. I'm glad to see new people showing up, finding my stream. That was Uo's Lab. Popped in here one day, and I was like, wait, what does this guy do? Holy shit, everything's exploding. The stream is great. I'm going to get metal washers for this from the kit that I put away. Why did I put that away? What is wrong with me? Brain, you got to work with me a little bit here, Brain. Okay, the kit of washers. Werther's Originals? Oh, it's right here. It's right in front of my face. It's a day. We've been having a day. Just a day of streaming. Me versus my brain for some reason. I don't know why it has to be adversarial, but it is. But it is. Is this a different material? It looks slightly different. I guess different printer settings. I don't know what my settings were back then. because this is like totally smooth and there's just barely evidence of streaks in this. So maybe my flow settings are a little bit different than they used to be. Is this stuff the matte black stuff? No, this is the gloss. I have matte black filament now that I don't really have much use for. I'll have to figure out a project for that. It's weird the way it goes down because it's not really that matte. You might as well just paint. Painting is the way to really get a good finish on your project. Sand und paint. Careful. The other part about MakerBeam is that I always work on this stuff that's so tall. And when you're working on like a tall or big project, there's a lot of easy to drop like situations, like getting this started. Yeah, Wonky Robot, thank you so much for subbing. I really appreciate you. Very, very nice of you. All right, just trying to get hardware up here. Eventually we'll get to the point where we start programming stuff. Whoa, why did that window flash? Looked like the comment popped in and out or something. Something happened. Maybe it's just my window refreshing. This is the wrench that comes with a MakerBeam kit. Good to have. Stuff like this is good to have. I keep them on the magnet hanger because there's a couple particular sizes of hex wrench or rather a hex socket that I need, and having one attached to a little screwdriver is great. You know, those socket kits are all well and good, but having just a bespoke little tiny screwdriver with you is very helpful. Okay, so now we got to get the other half of this. Willow's barking at something. Woo, 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 woo. She's a woo girl, that's for sure. Yeah, good vibes is what I'm selling here. It weirds me out that people would want to watch the VODs, and then I'll go and I'll watch the My Summer Car VOD from like Raw Boz or Tomato from like 3 years ago, and it's like comfort food for me. And yet, I look at my VOD channel and I go, this is weird. Yeah, this is difficult because there's 3 of these. All right, one more. I don't know why I did 3 fasteners for these things. I think I just felt like 2 wouldn't be enough. Somehow 3 is enough. They feel just the same. I know. I don't give myself any credit. I don't give myself credit. I know I need to. Oh, these are too big. These are the wrong size. I want it to hug that screw. Distribute the force. Not allow the nut to extrude itself into the plastic body. And also, we've got plenty of space out here, so I might as well put a washer on it. Even just a washer actually helps the fastener keep more pressure on the threads. And this is something that I debated with my stream, because I am the master of such things. I debated this with my viewers, and it turns out they're right. Anything is better than just the bolt going up against the platen. If you have a lock washer, it will require more force for it to begin loosening. At which point, when it gets to a certain loosening, it will then loosen faster with the washer on there because of the mechanics of it. With a not necessarily with a washer, but with like a lock washer, it'll become like a little one-way drive. But the amount of extra force that is required in order to move the socket and get it to start, move the nut and get it to start loosening is so much higher that it is better to have than not. It does not justify leaving out hardware. Do I have like a straight edge? I don't have a straight edge that's big enough to do the span of these two and get them in line. Where is my tool? Right here. Tighten just fairly hand tight. There's not that much vibration on this thing, and it's not exactly an aircraft, so it doesn't need to be amazingly bolted down. I can forget a fastener here and there and I should be okay. In part for the incredible crashing noise that it'll make down the line when it falls. Let's see, now for this I need an actual screwdriver socket, which is over here, and it is memorized, this one. All right, now the question is, do I want the elbow down here, or can I get away without it? I might be able to get away without it. Should probably abolish the elbows for the entire design, but the pump would be a little bit awkward without them. Oh God, I'm getting water everywhere. And definitely not a drop to drink, because I drank water cooling solution before. I've been that guy. I drained like one piece of my desktop system, even back when it had corrosion in it. I drained it into a glass, and that glass is sitting on my desk, and it was accompanied by other glasses filled with liquid. And I wasn't thinking. It was late at night. Maybe I was drinking, I don't know. But I grabbed a glass of what I assumed to be water, and it was, but not mostly. And I took a big old honkin' sip of water cooling solution. It was awful. It tasted like plastic. Ugh. I probably like took a couple years off of the end of my life by doing that. It is, yeah, that's the IT version of drinking motor oil as a mechanic. You were very correct. Oh, it's so disgusting. I didn't feel right afterwards, but it passed very much immediately. I was like, should I puke? Probably should have, because what I was drinking was leaching plastic material and rust. Whatever got through the half cell. Did this just puke again? God damn. I think it's puking all over my setup here. It's because there's a little bit of water left in it, and every time I tilt it, it decides to let loose. Let fly. Those are not even at all. Corrosion really wakes you up in the morning. This big old glass of rust. Wait. What? Oh, this thing is uneven. These aren't symmetrical parts. I need to flip them. Stupid asymmetrical thing. Gotta get your iron. I have too much iron. I have to go into the doctors and have them draw a bag of blood and then throw it in the garbage. I go, see your blood? This blood is fucking garbage. Actually, supposedly I might be able to donate blood. Now that my levels are at the right spots. But I don't know, like, if you're taking, like, medications, are you allowed to donate blood? I know they scrub that stuff, but, like, I don't know. Depends on the meds. I'll have to check. There's probably something on a website that I gotta read. I was not sent here for reading. Okay, there we go. Get that at the right height. It's hot down here. It's getting kind of heated. Let's get that nice and close, but not touching. There we go. That's pretty good. Is that? That's actually touching. That's touching. That's too close. Too close. Too close. Bump that up just a little bit. And then bump this up just a little bit. Man, this thing was supposed to be done. This is supposed to be done. At least we now have a reliable pump, if not producing a few too many BTUs for the system. It kind of heats up its own loop. I'll have to move this again once I get it mounted. But these will scooch. These scooch easily. Okay, so now for the screws that actually hold the pump on, now that they're lined up to their holes, there's like a rail on this thing for accommodating, I guess, different designs of 5 1/4 drive bays so that this can stick out in the front panel of the computer. This thing would have been awesome if I actually still had a tower, because then you'd have this big old window that you could put stuff behind where the water's flowing, and it has this nice little whirligig with a little water feature on it. I like it a lot, but my computer is non-conventionally designed, and I don't have a 5 1/4 drive bay. Plus, those things were obsolete in the 90s. So anyway, yeah, I don't have my CD-ROM to go beneath this thing. So we're using it on Burn the Subs, and it actually is a pretty good fit for the look of the rest of the thing. Although 5 1/4 is a little bit larger than where I originally planned the rails, and the rails were originally planned around this laser etching control board that was so obscure that we could not find any information on it online. We actually were able to find like barely a schematic on a Chinese website, but I bought it because it was cheap, and I was going to do EDM machining in order to put numbers on dice. But I never got very far with that project. I was originally going to use the milling machine to make dice and sell dice. Strike While the Anvil's Hot D&D was very, very popular at the time. Still is, but it was then too. But I think I've been resolutely beaten to that niche. There's so many dice manufacturers out there that are doing so much cooler stuff. Got more of these screws in here just so that it's secured. I've seen some really truly amazing designs. There's some that are like, they look like plants, but it's all made out of like brass. And it's like this whole 3-dimensional design. I don't even know if it might be sintered metal printing. But it's sweet. Looks really cool. All right, let's get all these little screws in. I think I have enough of them around to fill out all 8. Otherwise, I could just get more out of the bin. And we'll check in on the 3D print and see where we're at. Okay, I've been doing this for a little while now and nothing's happening. Sounds a lot like my streaming career. There it goes. Yeah, that little jump that everybody expected me to have between where I am now and being super popular never really happened. There was an advertiser that tried to get me on board. They would have taken over my financials for the channel, which I was very, a lot of trepidation there. But I guess that's probably normal for signing up with a thing. But they would have been responsible for getting me advertisements to put on the stream, and so I would shill these products, and they were thinking like, you could put your own spin on it. You like actually test to see if XYZ product stands up to their name. And how bad would that look if, for instance, I was testing like, I don't know, like if it was like one of those like protect your Wi-Fi, and I do a little bit of like looking into it with an actual radio, and I'm like, wait, this thing sucks. It's just a white product from China that's been relabeled. That would look terrible. Yeah, it does sound suspicious. But I mean, isn't that what they do? Isn't that what these what are they called? Networks or whatever, all about? Because it's like, where are they getting their money from? It's probably from your revenue stream, and then they provide you with a service, like, for instance, keeping you from getting in trouble legally, and then they provide you with, well, I guess their money would be coming from the ad providers primarily. It shouldn't be coming directly from them. So you should still get the money from your channel. So yeah, I don't know. It seemed a little exploitative. I was talking to Roboz at the time, and he was like, always alter the contract and see how they respond, which was really good advice. Okay, so yeah, one of the big things is removing themselves from that part of the process, from the negotiation part of the process, by having a standard service. And so they'll have this shitty standard service that creators, like big creators, will argue against. They'll say, hey, I don't like these terms and these terms, like we got to change how this is working. And typically, in the normal model, they'll go, oh yeah, okay, of course we could change that. Or no, we want to keep this, but we can change that. Instead, what they do is they have like, oh, we have a creator camp where you sign up, we take over your financials, and then you have to go to the same standard incentives as everyone else, or else we don't need you. And you can just keep doing your own thing. So that's sort of like the new model. They're able to get more pull over the stipulations of a contract by having standardization in the path. It's very strange stuff. And it's very annoying, and it's always exploitative, and it really just kind of grinds me away. I'm not going to say grind my gears, because then everybody does a Family Guy impression. Print! How much longer do we have in the print? I would rather be scraping by than be at the behest of advertiser, big ad money. Because I'm freer this way. I can actually work on weird stuff and do weird things, and I don't have to, you know, one day, hey, I got the sniffles and I'm not going to stream. Like, I can do that. I'm going to prime this camera. We need to prime this camera, even though I'm going to be only using it for a little bit, but that's on setups, and that would be the burn the subs procedure, and then it gets real dark because there's a ton of lights on burn the subs, and then I just have to pull it back a little bit. I have to go into the camera settings, go to properties, and then I have to go to configure video. So it's like 12 different windows. I could really use a functional UI on this. Exposure back. Then we take the focus back. Brightness, contrast, sharpness, white balance. Where's focus? Focus. Yoink. Zoom. Wah! That's all I can do. And gain, bring that up a little bit. Problem with gain, you bring it up, a lot of noise. So a little bit of gain goes far. Your exposure is also going to bring in that. But white balance to 43, because that's nice indoor, slightly warmer tones than being in an office building. And it's a little bit more representative of what that corner of my shop looks like. So there's about 20 minutes left in the print. Oh, and it pulled up on the corner. That's no good. Why did that corner pull up? I guess I'm gonna have to move it somewhere else. Maybe the Windex that I left on the bed isn't exactly helping it out. Can I fix it? No, it's all jacked up. All right, print's jacked up. That's gonna be it for stream for today. Stop the print. Stop the presses. Cancel the print. And now this thing just goes, you what? Cancel the print. I'm out of here. It just kind of backs away into the bush. Nobody saw me. Okay. So that print's going to take a little while. I'm just going to take over and do it. I will be back tomorrow. We'll figure out something to do. It'll maybe be related, at least if not tangentially related to burn the subs. Probably do a little bit more of this hardware stuff and figuring out where tubes are supposed to go. And then from there, when I get this whole control panel together, I can move on to either wiring the control panel or rewiring the board itself, because the board itself has accommodations for end stops, and we're not doing that anymore. The motor controllers have sort of a torque stall built into them so that it can actually stop things when it needs to. So work continues on burn the subs. I'm waiting for an RC car frame in the mail. I got so pissed off at the WL Toys kit, which I still have it. I still have the WL Toys kit. It's just the upgrade aluminum parts or terrible. They're absolutely dog shit. They're terrible parts. So I got a little angry, and I ended up spending $200 on a nice 1/24 RC car frame. Why did I do that? I don't know. I think I just needed to have like a kit that I could follow the instructions on and just turn my brain off. I think that was just the primal reaction to having this WL Toys kit continually turn me into a fool. My 3D like model of the thing is all off, so it might be an incredible amount of work to model the Atom kit, but it also might be decent content. But I don't want to draw stuff out either, so we'll see where we go with that when I get the new frame in, because I want to have sort of a functional 1/24 RC car frame that I can put that really fast motor into and do the very minimal electronics layout on. We might 3D print like a frame where all the electronics can kind of snap in, and then I can do some soldering with that, and it'll be cool. But yeah, until that kit comes, all that stuff is on hold. We're going to continue to work on Burn the Subs and get this thing into more of a state. We still haven't brought the project forward from where we started. We broke down the pump area, redesigned it, and now I've got a much nicer pump area now, and there's room to run everything, but we need to get that to the next stage. So it's almost done. Control hardware, board hardware will be just another like day of work. Hey, Mr. Yan, thank you so much. That is a Prime for 11 months. Thank you so much. I let a Prime sub lapse recently, and I still feel bad about it. But I guess the overall number of months subbed is still there, so I can cling to that for a while. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. We'll figure out what we work on. Waiting for parts in the mail. So thank you guys for joining me. This is supposed to be a short stream. It ended up being pretty much standard, just an hour shorter. And yeah, I'm gonna go say hi to the puppy. I'm gonna kiss that puppy. Everybody wants me to do it. I'm gonna do it. I will not let you guys down. I gotta go take her for a walk in whatever soup is outside. It's looking kind of gray out. But I will be back tomorrow, same times and all that stuff. You guys know how to catch me. In terms of rating somebody, I don't know. We've already shouted out Uwo's Lab. I don't know when he typically starts. Robert is doing Pacific Drive, which is looking like it might be a pretty fun game, but I'm not too sure. And nobody else. Is that? Yeah, so they're not online. So yeah, that's the only people. Wow, slow day. Lawman, if you guys like League of Legends. Lawrence is doing Hypnospace Outlaw. You know, Lawrence from formerly Funhouse, but it's Sir Lar, is doing Hypnospace Outlaw, which is a wonderful game. Okay, and it's a perfect Lawrence game too, because it's like Windows 3.1 aesthetic, which is, oh yeah, and if you guys want to watch My Summer Car. So you guys distribute to where you're going to have the most fun on Twitch, and if you're around tomorrow, I will see you, and we will be working on this stuff. I'll make sure that print goes along tonight, and we have it. So here's the end card. End card. There we go. You guys can join me on social media, or Discord, or whatever. I don't tweet often, but sometimes there's cool stuff. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. Have fun. Where's the button? Which button am I hitting? I think it's this one.